Yeah, there's definitely some sort of lag.
So it might be.
Hey, potheads and political junkies. We're here, at least for a second. It seems to be working. It's already like, we passed 420, gave it a stab then too. We weren't able to actually get through to you, but it looks like it's working now. If you guys are having problems, if there's lag or anything, let us know. I'm not sure if we tried to reset everything a few times. Seems to be functioning now, but it may be live stream related or just internet in general. But good to be here. Friday, what day is it? The 21st of June, and it's just about time for the Kush Cup and the Vancouver Expo, Health Expo. My man Red One's here from the Rascalz, and now the new proprietor of a medical marijuana dispensary right here in the city.
Yes,
we'll be talking about that. That's dope. Yeah, Red Med, and it's a little further down the couch there, in his cool white glasses he's got.
Has he got his headphones on? I don't want to yell in the mic this week.
Oh yeah, last week Mark yelled in the headphones.
What's going on?
Just about shit his pants.
Interweb.
Yeah.
So, big show, Health Expo here in Vancouver, and the Kush Cup. We're going to talk about it because it's happening next week. We're going to be broadcasting live from the Health Expo and the Kush Cup. And then right after that, of course, we have Cannabis Day happening, of course, at the Art Gallery. It's going to be just mad fucking cron for days. And then the Glass Gathering happens after that. We're going up north to see Redbeard, so that's going to be fun. Also on the show today, Jason Wilcox will be on to talk about his group. And Jason was actually just on our show 2 weeks ago. We brought him back because he was just so damn fascinating. And of course, so handsome. So the ladies asked for him to come back. And yeah, so this show is huge. I don't have my glasses on right now, so I can't really see anything, but I'm assuming that somebody's out there watching.
Where's your glasses?
They're upstairs in my office. I'll go get them.
Holy.
I'll go get them after we play some videos and stuff. But we got to talk to Red One straight up here. You guys performed last year. The Rascalz performed at the Kush Cup, the first annual.
Yeah,
and
it's actually a real honor to actually be on the first annual Kush Cup. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and wasn't
Shout
that
out to my man Mark for making it happen. You know what I mean?
Went out of your way to come and
Big
perform
respect.
for sure. Yeah.
Actually, Mark, it's better if you just put the mic on the rest
table
or something. Yeah, because moving it around, I get a lot of a.
Thanks, Marius.
Okay, perfect.
Marius is on the
They can
boards.
still hear you, and I can turn it up, and you can raise your voice even a bit if you're not too close.
So am I mistaken, or you guys hadn't performed for a while before last year's Kush Cup, and you guys were back together for like a little something there?
Well, we rock out of Canada a lot. You know, we go down to South America and all over the place and do a lot of shows. But we don't really rock in Vancouver too often. You know what I mean? It has to be a special occasion for us to come out. You know what I mean? So Kush Cup, I couldn't find a better reason to come out. So I was like, yeah, let's do this.
For those of you who don't know, the Rascalz are legends in Canada for hip hop by putting us on the map for winning a Juno. So
Juno award winning.
You guys
whatever that
boycotted
means.
the
Anyway.
Junos, and the following year they actually put hip hop in the actual televised part of the show.
Yeah, because
so
didn't
that
you
was
guys
huge.
you guys refused to accept it actually, right?
Yeah, because at the time, hip hop was had like taken over from, I think it was country music as like the #1 selling genre at the time, and so, you know, they were handing out awards on the Saturday night before. The award was the Sunday night, and like, you know, and the night of the awards, they'd be handing out like awards for the best children's instrumentalist. In the meantime, we're here trying to represent a genre that's now taking over the world as the #1 selling music. And you know, they weren't really trying to mention or give it no love. So we just thought, really, when you decide to show the real kind of respect, then we'd be honored to accept it. So we just didn't accept it.
And in doing so, you actually got recognition, I think, a lot more than it would have, you know, accepting it off camera.
Oh, the next year they made us perform.
News.
Yeah, we made all the papers. They let us perform the next year. And to the point where when I saw Drake hosting the Junos the other day, I knew that was a direct effect for something we kind of took a stand for. You know what I mean? It made me a little bit proud. So I was like, nice.
Totally, man. Well, it's good that you guys stood up for it, and it was ridiculous they weren't like rap in the main category.
It wasn't just rap. Anyway. It was R&B, hip hop, reggae, just anything that seemed like it was that young urban culture that was coming up. You know what I mean? So we just took a stand for music in general. So
yeah.
Yeah.
Cool, man. Well, and you guys have done that a few times. You've done other activism aside from just your musical stuff, like on through Much and through other things, right?
Yeah, we were the first artists to go into Sierra Leone in the middle of the war to kind of just try to shine some light on like the Blood Diamond situation.
Which is totally fucked up.
Yeah, it was a really bad situation. that was like right in the middle of kind of, we were staying at like the United Nations headquarters, and we'd have to go to move around the city to kind of see what was going on. We'd be going through like these roadblocks with these guys staying there with these 50 caliber guns, and it was one of the most beautiful places I've seen on earth, but it was just kind of sad because of what was going on. And so, we worked with musicians in the war zone to try to help just bring light to the situations, because hip hop was also responsible for like this bling bling culture that was also out there. So we felt you got to have a balance, and if we're gonna help push this certain culture, you got to actually show all aspects of for people to be able to make educated choices.
Yeah, well, I was going to ask you about some of that stuff. I was going to talk to you about pop before we got into hip-hop stuff, but let's just get straight into it. Like, hip-hop these days, man, things have changed in a big way, I think. And as you said, there's this whole bling thing that's now really prevalent. That's all it is now, it seems like. When back in the day, there seemed to be a little bit of this heart in lyrics. There seemed to be some, like, actual content other than just bragging about... there's always been a lot of bragging in hip-hop, but, you had Public Enemy, and you had a lot of groups with a social conscience.
Yeah, for sure. I definitely see what you're saying, and that's why for me, I more vibes with like music that's like a different era of hip hop. But there are the artists out there that I do feel, and like for me, it's like I just look at everything as just music, and through music, we as Rascalz just chose to use it to express ourselves and to bring light to certain situations, and that's what you attract. Birds of a feather flock together, and the young kids out there, they're more from a different era where it's like instantaneous on going net. They want to download, they want the music, they want like everything is instantaneous. So, it's just a different kind of vibes. But to me, there's still those artists out there that's trying to represent, but they're just not getting the shine. You know what I mean? So
and that's what it comes down to, is they're not getting the promotion and everything else.
But everything kind of goes, because it got to the point where they kind of was going back into like some 80s kind of vibes, and it'll probably come back to the vibes where they're trying to be more on like more of a conscious, more level, like more responsible music, and and then it gets to the point where they'll probably even get more gangster music, because it comes around and goes around, so
sure.
Right now we just got to wait out the storm. You know what I mean? It'll get warm soon.
Absolutely.
A lot of the content of the mainstream music is sex,
right,
and buying stuff,
right.
You know what I mean? So you look at like a Britney Spears video,
right,
and that Will.i.am one, that was the most product placement video ever made, they were saying, or something like that. I had like 2.2 million in products in the video or something like that, eh?
And that's the thing. People see what's going on out there, and they might necessarily not want to be able to be spitting it like that, but when they see that's what the number 1, number 2, and number 3 video is, they're kind of forced into, if I want to get into this business, I gotta kind of conform to number 1. You know what I mean? So again, it just comes down to people who are on like a different higher level and consciousness, and just ain't really trying to follow I put it to my man this way, like it's like everyone's trying to make it to the top, and there's the short grass and the long grass, and the short grass is the long way, but you can get through the tall grass, but there's snakes in the grass. That's all.
Yeah, for sure, man.
But we're all trying to get to the top,
That's right. And speaking of grass here, we should talk about your new dispensary in town before we get into the Kush Cup stuff. There's Red Med, and what's the address? It is. It's 2231 Abbott Street in Vancouver.
Yes, Red
down
Med.
the street here.
Come
and
see
so
me.
how long have you guys been in business for? I haven't seen the place myself yet. But
This
I
is
plan
probably
to.
like
seriously, you were like, oh, I don't know if you were kind of not thinking that it was great or whatever. It's amazing.
Wow.
Really beautiful inside. Just an amazing location right in the heart of Vancouver.
I appreciate that, because he actually owns one. They have iMedicaid, and that's actually really dope too.
Yeah, we're in South Vancouver though. You're in the heart of Vancouver. Amazing location.
But I won't even lie, that's actually how I got into this thing. Like after I hooked up with Mark, and I was like,
Well, you actually got your license too.
I went out. I got my license, and I was like, I want to be downtown, and I want to help people, and I want to put out things to help, like exactly what we were just talking about, to help people get to that higher level of consciousness. You know what I'm saying? And as long as they got their license and seen their doc, they can come down to see me, and we'll take care of them, and
And how's business? Are you guys getting people signed up right away?
Yeah, we have a doc on that's there. His name is Dr. Jonas, and you can come down and see him, make an appointment, or come in on a Friday or a Tuesday, and he's there live, and it's all good.
Very cool. And in Vancouver, I think the climate here is pretty safe for most people running dispensaries, although Mark had one of his dispensaries busted by the cops.
It's 4 blocks from the cop shop, and they don't like me. Look at my videos.
Yeah, when you're, the weed guy gets a lot
I
of
like
attention.
you.
Yeah, and he's promoting events,
but I like to
holding
put
local
cops
events
on
here,
video
expos,
and,
Kush
who
Cups.
knows, right? So, yeah.
Yeah, well, and not only that,
You
but I
represent,
think
you know what I'm saying, the people.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I'm just saying, I'm not your average
a lot of times
dispensary.
it comes down to being buddies with your neighbors.
Bring it to the man.
You got to be buddies with your neighbors in a lot of ways too, though, because I think you ran into trouble with complaints, didn't you?
We didn't even get actual complaints, and there's none on the affidavit.
There isn't.
No,
but the cops told you directly you did.
Yeah, well, there's none on the affidavit.
Wow,
and they were actually the investigation started before the dispensary opened. So it was basically as it was opening their investigation. So it was like next to impossible to have a complaint when it hadn't even opened yet.
Yeah.
And like I said, I was friends with the principal, and he had no complaints there. He said there's probably 2 neighbors in the neighborhood that had called the school, but that was it.
Huh.
So and that's why I'd stipulated that maybe it was them, but I think it was the cops themselves.
Yeah, well, who knows? I mean, the cops do weird things, and that's the problem with this drug war the way it is now, is there's these gray areas where the cops have total selective enforcement of these laws. They can just go after whoever the fuck they want for any reason, anytime, or for no reason, or because they don't like the way you look, or they don't like something else about you.
I think it's just location.
Yeah.
Didn't like the location. It's quite the neighborhood there, so.
Didn't want you getting too big.
Yeah.
Franchise
No, I think
spreading
it's more
all over the
I
place,
think
multiple
I think it's
locations.
location.
Yeah.
I think it was location, 2 residential.
Right.
So. Yeah.
Well,
Beat him in court.
that's right. So, I was going to ask you about this performance. You guys are performing at the next Kush Cup as well, the one coming up here this weekend.
Right, with my man Be Real.
Nice. Yeah,
Yeah.
Be Real's going to be in the house, and it's going to be a big one. Who else is going to be here? Isn't there another? I thought. there was-
City Real also will be performing.
Real.
Also, he was on the Swollen Members tour. He's actually a member at iMedicate also, and a really good artist. He's musically awesome. I personally chose him. So yeah, really good singer. I like to bring not just rappers but also some singers too, right?
That's all good.
That's what Rascalz bring.
Yeah.
Some shit. You
Yeah.
can
Wait, and
listen
who
to,
else is on the
right?
bill for entertainment in terms of music? Isn't Daniel West?
Oh, that's just the Sunday night though. Is what we're talking about.
Right. Okay. Well, so tell us
So
who else is
the
on the
whole
bill.
weekend, Friday is Daniel Wesley with Mike Dundas. We also have on the Saturday we've got Charlie Murphy and Randy Leahy from
Charlie Murphy.
Yeah, so
Charlie Murphy's hilarious.
Those are our
He's so
3 nights.
funny,
There'll be some other acts that'll also be thrown in there, also from local acts and stuff. So yeah, but those are our main headliners.
Nice. And you guys had a good time last year, or what? What'd you think of the Cup?
Yo, the Cup is crazy, man. The boat cruise is wild.
That's the boat cruise.
That's right. Yeah, we
This
filmed
year,
a little
it's gonna
segment
be
on the boat
yeah.
cruise. Yeah.
There's gonna be 2 boat cruises this year, so
Yeah,
you know
2
what I'm
boat
saying?
cruises. So get on the one you want to go on.
And so now, what's the difference in the boat cruises?
So if you have a Kush Cup pass, there's 200 spots on each boat, okay? And we got Be Real to DJ and host. I don't know how much DJ he's gonna be doing. I think it's gonna be a lot of smoking and just chilling with everyone. And so we got him hosting a boat cruise, and then there's another one for anyone else that wants to go that has a judge's pass on the other boat cruise. So it's basically we got this option to have Be Real on a boat, kind of like a meet and greet. So yeah, so that's how it is. I'm gonna
Take
be
that
on both
opportunity, hell
boat
yeah.
cruises.
I'm gonna be on the boat.
Yeah, so we're gonna be on both boat cruises. It's just a special thing if you want to. If not, then you're more than welcome to go on the. It's the same boat, one after the other, 3
Karina
hours
wants
sailing
on the
time.
boat. She's giving me dirty
I
looks.
know
over
everyone's
there.
thinking they're getting in.
No, she's just making a sad face.
You know how to
She
make
wants
me
on the
happy.
boat. I already told him, Karina. You
You
said
know
you're
Mark
coming on the
wants.
boat.
No, everyone's going on the boat. We're gonna fit 900 people on the boat somehow. It's gonna
Yeah.
magically happen.
Jeez, you got to keep it afloat.
No, it's actually
Yeah.
crazy. I was on it last year. It's a really good time. So you
It's
don't
a really cool time. 'cause
you don't wanna
can
miss the
smoke
boat.
weed on the boat.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was very
Big
cool
boat.
that the staff was allowing us to just puff mad when we were out there.
Oh,
Although
yeah.
when we came into shore, I think there was some paranoia or a little bit like.
I don't know, well, there's other yacht groups there and other boating rental companies that are their neighbors.
Yeah.
So we devised a plan to be respectful to the, people that don't smoke pot. And
Yeah, you don't want
it's
to
like
skunk 'em
cigarettes
out.
too, right? You still don't want to stink about. So we came up with a plan that as soon as we had passed the harbor, the bridge I think it was, is the point that we set.
That's
that,
right,
That everyone was good to blaze. It was awesome because we had Kiwi doing acting out the safety thing.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Kiwi,
it's fucking hilarious.
Kiwi J.
So, yeah,
Kiwi's the man.
the whole crew that runs that ship there, they're pot friendly, hilarious, and it's a real blast. And yeah, sun and everything, it'll be good.
Nice. Well, I'm definitely excited. We're going to be now broadcasting as much of it live as possible.
Nice.
I don't know how that's going to work exactly on the boat cruise because when we're out there, I don't think we get much of a signal. So.
Nor do you want to be filming. It's just going to be awesome.
Well, and that's the thing. We threw it on once in a while to give them a little something, but we filmed some segments out there too that were pretty cool last time around.
Yeah. And I also wanted to mention
we did a little segment.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That
So
was
we
dope.
got limo buses connecting everything, and that's including for the Kush Cup judges for after the show. So we have a circuit that's going to be running throughout the city, basically going down Hastings and going by the Chapel Arts Hall and the Pot Block here, up by Yaletown Dispensary, up Kingsway, past the new restaurant that I'm opening up, Mega Ill, THC.
Mega Ill.
Yeah,
That is
it's
the
on
shit.
646 Kingsway. It'll be opening up
Good
the Kush
name.
Cup. And then
And tell people, wait, quickly though, why is it called Mega Ill? Just tell us why.
Okay, well, the story behind that is it used to be Mega Grill, and when we got the place and started renovating it, we painted over the G and the R. And we wanted to call it THC, or the Healing Cafe is what we wanted to call it, like THC, right? And so we love that name and think it's awesome. And I was doing interviews for the province, I think it was the one that really swung me the other way. They were like, oh yeah, I was telling them what we were doing, and then it was he was like, which place is it again? I was like, oh, it says Bagel, and he's like, I know, I drove by and I thought that was just like the best name. And everyone just keeps saying it. They're like,
Mega
oh, that
Ill.
name's awesome, Mega Ill, right? And actually, Rocky and I, the two owners of the place, we both are patients. So Rocky's battling cancer as we speak, and I myself had a bone marrow transplant. And we're exemplary patients in terms of we don't feel sorry for ourselves, and we live life to the fullest. And so this is a place that you get to have, our mission statement is food and weed, so and medicine, right?
Yeah.
Good food and good medicine.
But I
is literally
kind of
our
like
mission statement.
it's got this tongue-in-cheek aspect of the ill being in the title too, because
Well,
the
for
patients-
us young folks, we understand the ill concept
Ill.
can be like something that's
But
so
I mean,
fucking
actually,
awesome.
patients might be visiting your establishment, and they might actually be ill, not just ill like they're dope, but ill.
Yeah,
like,
but that's awesome because everyone could be sick and you can still, be happy about life just to be alive.
I do. Yeah, exactly.
I know a lot of patients that are just like, they have a real zest for life, and actually on a more humble stance, and a lot of people that I know that got money or something like that, you know what I mean? I surround myself with a lot of, patients like that. I like to blaze with them already, right? So it's like, but you really get humbled,
Straight up.
some people can, find something good in just smoking a joint and having some good food. And you got to be grateful for simple things like that too, right?
I think there's a lot of people, and I notice about the medical marijuana movement that when people do have illnesses, it sometimes ignites a passion in them that it wouldn't before, and not just because they're necessarily in pain, but just because they see something that they hadn't seen before. It brings you into a totally new world of all kinds of new people and other experiences, and it really does ignite passion in people.
Yeah, I think it's just important to have a positive attitude no matter what your situation is, and to realize that there's always somebody worse off than you are, and just take your chance in life with what you got.
Yeah.
So, and I think there's a lot of people that sometimes are faced with hardships in life and get down on themselves, and they become like Eeyore, and you can see it in their face, right? Where in reality, they just need to shake it off and bounce back. You're better than that shit, whatever it is affecting you, and just give her. So, and don't feel sorry for yourself is kind of the mentality, right? So
Yeah.
especially if you're sick. I did meet a lot of people that had cancer when I was sick, and they really did have that, they're almost, you could tell they're gonna die look on their face,
yeah.
you know what I mean? So it's you just gotta just not think like that.
Well, and both of you guys run medical marijuana dispensaries, and the whole thing is about helping people who are sick. And seeing those people that come into you guys every day, and I know just from sitting, I haven't been to your place, but I've been to Mark's, and just even being there for a few minutes, the amount of people that actually come in there and are really getting help, actual real fucking help. It's
sure.
not like just people getting high or people fucking around. People are coming in there, and you guys are actually healing their wounds.
I was told when I got into the dispensary thing, not only that it was risky, but also that it was dealing with sick and poor people, and that it would be, it would be a hardship or something like that. It's the exact opposite. People are grateful.
Yeah.
And they're from all walks of life, from the postman to every kind of the librarian to everyone you can think of uses it medically, is from all different walks of life, conditions, everything. So, and everyone comes in, they walk into into where they're getting their medicine, and it's the look on their face that tells it all, they're here, they got that look, yeah, I've arrived, smile on their face.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And it's
Yeah, hell
really
yeah.
a grateful attitude that at every patient shows, you know?
And in a way, it's a huge relief because, I mean, these people, even though there's medical marijuana dispensaries open in the city, it's still illegal. I mean, you got one of yours shut down. So there's people that are afraid because their medicine could be denied.
The police even recently were visiting dispensaries. Because I'm doing the Kush Cup, we have different dispensaries that are entering their strains or whatever and participating. So I've actually got to go visit and talk with a vast majority of the dispensaries. And yeah, we're still on edge, and it is one of those jobs that, you know, even though I have a bank account and I pay taxes and employees and all that, I'm still worried that one day they'll just come there and shut it down, especially with these new Harper laws and beliefs that he's, you know, pushing on us. It feels like we're in such a controlled environment, and like it's like a one-way train. And,
and it's not going in the right direction,
like, no matter what, right? And it's like, who's really controlling this fucking train?
It's crazy to me that, so not only are dispensaries being targeted in some of these shutdowns, now we haven't seen much of that lately. What we are seeing though, and there's been a few of them, are the RCMP targeting head shops actually. Like the one that we have downstairs here, just regular head shops selling pipes and bongs. We have on the front page of Cannabis Culture right now a story, RCMP tells second Prince Rupert store to take pipes and bongs off the shelves. So these are stores that are no longer allowed to sell just regular pipes and bongs.
They're not allowed to do that no more.
No, they're going after them for that, which is, recently Dana Larson wrote an article in the Vancouver Sun bringing up the fact that we still have on the books laws prohibiting paraphernalia. So if it's intended to be used to smoke marijuana or any illegal substance, it's illegal too. And so you'll see in a lot of the head shops, they have these little tags that say for tobacco use only or whatever, right? Yeah. So that's how you can sort of gray area it.
Which is a joke.
It is a joke. And
how's that any better? Like,
well, exactly.
There's no victims from smoking pot. There's tons of people dying from tobacco.
No, it's totally ridiculous. But that's not the only place. So Prince Rupert isn't the only place that have had the RCMP go after him.
Like, how do the cops have a conscience? They have they're allowed to interpret the law as they see fit and enforce it as they see fit.
And that's what this is.
So who is giving these cops the right to go around and spend our taxpayers' money, harassing businesses that are paying taxes and clearly serving a community that wants them there if they're in business?
It's selective enforcement. It's just that some places they go after them, some places they don't.
It's 18 plus. Even at the small little tiny mom and pop stores you see in like the suburbs, they all are 18 plus.
And these two stores that were targeted are just two of many stores, and that's what they're saying in the article. Well, why are they targeting us and not all the other stores? It doesn't make sense. It's not fair. So, and not just here in Prince Rupert, but in Manitoba, the cops have also gone after people. So there's been stores in Manitoba that they've either totally shut down and reopened and harassed, and said that, and in Manitoba they said the reason that they're coming back to harass them is because some of the bongs are shaped like Simpsons characters and South Park characters. So they're breaking copyright laws. That's what they actually fucking told them.
Well, and that's a civil suit that company would take upon them. There's like a Louis Vuitton seller where they
you have to
for the
go
value
through
of the product.
He couldn't. The cops had no jurisdiction to do something like that over a copyright law.
Yeah, it sounds like cops take it upon themselves with their own agendas sometimes. I really do think that, you know, like, well, maybe it's not their boss. And then the police force, they protect their own, you know. So if someone does something that they don't personally agree with, the force still would, you know, support it, because that's how they do it. They're not going to throw one of their own team under the bus. And I think that happens a lot, especially in day-to-day patrolling and stuff like that, you know, like cop just kind of does shit on his own. You see that happen all the time. Cops get, you know.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of these laws that are the officer's discretion. And to me, that doesn't even really make sense. If you have a law, I mean, you should enforce it for the most part. So why have all these laws in the books if you're only going to enforce them sometimes? That's not really fair. So I don't know. To me, they should get rid of the drug laws completely and actually enforce laws, you know, regular laws. But I don't know. Officers' discretion. Officers, who are these guys? Where they went to like school for a couple years to get their police certificate or something, and then they're making these heartbreaking life and death decisions out there in the real world. I don't know.
8 weeks in Regina.
Yeah, exactly. Eric, the suit is here.
Another thing I wanted to mention about the Kush Cup is like, I know some people can't afford to go do the $250 ticket or to go to the individual shows, is that the Health Expo is a huge component. There's a big symposium with a lot of awesome doctors that are presenting there that we've got doing presentations at the expo. It's only $10 to go to that, and there's gonna be live glass blowing by Redbeard and his crew inside. We've got a medical marijuana tent It's air conditioned with sublimators in it. That's going to be there for people to do. So there's a lot of different concepts in booths that you can go to and actually enjoy yourself, and also pot booths. So we got a lot of the big pot block that's going to be there too, including Pot TV and Vancouver Seed Bank and a bunch of other guys. So yeah, that's what I'm saying. So if you can't come up with the 250, you don't think you can be a judge or even make it, please come down and support the expo. It's first time we've ever done an expo, and it's not cheap, and we need as much support as we can get.
Yeah,
come down to the playland and then go hit up the expo for a while.
It's gonna
so
be
it's
fun.
VancouverHealthExpo.com if you want to see the presenters and what times they're on. So there's a
and you
lot
have-
of different presenters.
Yeah, I was going to ask about the presenters. What are the presenters speaking on?
Well, there's all sorts of ones. There's like the carb guys, a doctor on that. There's Dr. Nathan Russo. There's we got Kinetics graduate Jazz Johal, who's he's from Fit Nation, so he'll be doing more on fitness and stuff like that. There's a fashion show. There's the Wisecracks. They're the national broadcast show. There are two doctors that'll be doing. They're like comedian doctors that are pro pot, that are one of our main entertainers of the show. So yeah, that's just to name a few.
Yeah, it's going to be off the
There's
hook.
also
It's huge, man. This is quite the...
chem therapy that's going to be there. There's so much I can barely name it all.
Yeah, I know. I have a big list here of different things.
Yeah, tons of doctor stuff. Everything's listed on the site. So
Yeah, and the fact that you were able to get this all at the P&E, and you're allowed to have pictures of marijuana everywhere. You're allowed all the like pot leaf imagery, and the P&E is government run, actually, right?
yeah, and it's also a family environment. It's people don't know it's got the playland there, so it's like a fucking carnival.
Yeah.
It is, right? So people bring their kids down there.
Yeah.
And that's literally what they told me. So we only got our medical marijuana booth approved a couple days ago. And
Yeah, somebody just asked in the chat, how about a vapor lounge? Yeah, I don't know if maybe they're having another conversation, but yeah, you guys do have an area where people will be able to...
yeah, not only that, but we've also put in the contracts with PNE that we have 2 limo buses, 1 Concorde bus, so like a nice big like Greyhound shuttle kind of looking bus, and then also an SUV limo that'll be on a constant circuit going down the pot block and that route that I was talking about up to First Avenue and Nanaimo. We got the Sublimation bar.
Right, right.
It'll be the last stop on the route, and then it kicks back to the PNE. So it'll be like, I don't know how much the time difference be, but I'm thinking 20, 25 minutes. You might have to wait for to get on the bus. So
Limo buses.
so that's and that'll take you to all these different pot destinations. You can go to the Vancouver Seed Bank. You can come here. You can go to all these other different venues and medicate also with your kit if you're not into the expo itself every day, right? So yeah. So and there's free cotton candy at my restaurant.
Red, did
Cotton
you judge
candy.
the contest last year? Were you one of the judges? Did you get the package? And
Nah.
No, you didn't do it?
No.
Yeah, so the Sublimator's sponsoring, so they're going to be everywhere, okay?
Right.
And there's a lot of extracts, hash, that are entrants. These are all contestants, so they've always asked me, how much do I need to enter? And the answer is there's going to be roughly 400 to 500 judges, and you've got to dose them all and get them to vote for you.
How many strains?
These people are coming to battle for your vote in that category. So for that extract category, it is 1 cup, 3 cups in total, first, second, and third for that category. And for the weed category, it's indica and sativa. You choose which is it more dominant or not. I'm not going to go into pure indicas or seed companies. And then a representative from everyone that enters is more than welcome to come to the count. And we'll also have press and other people there to keep it fair, because I want to be the fairest judge cup of them all.
There you go.
Right.
And
So
I
that
did
is the
at
number
the Kush
one
Cup last
priority.
year. I did read. You let me in, and I actually counted the votes myself, so there was no shenanigans.
Yeah, but
Unless
more
I
importantly,
myself was in on the
it's a
shenanigans.
lighthearted
It's 100% legit, guaranteed.
That's right.
Yeah, so
Original.
yeah, that's the main thing, right? I want everyone at the competition to, not only enjoy themselves, but to know that it's fair. So come on and enter. And yeah, so that's I'm thinking 20 entries. We have entries coming from across Canada, so people are definitely excited to enter.
So
it's gonna
20
be an
entries,
awesome
you
show.
think total? Now, are you still accepting strains from people? Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's
They
what
can
you
bring them in up until the day before.
said. Oh wow.
So
And that benefits all the judges, because then they get an
yeah,
extra
info
little
at kush.ca.
package in there.
Just email me or just bring it and come bring it to Jeremiah. He'll call me.
You said that there was a bunch of gifts that you were also. Yeah, I'll tell you about it for sure.
You'll want to
Where'd
test
that
it
bag
first.
go? Yeah, you said there was other gifts and
go?
stuff.
All right.
You got a roll, man?
Yeah, man.
Cool, man.
That's a Juno Award winner. You mean?
Man, for sure. Thanks for coming on, man. That was killer. And
Thanks, man.
we'll have you back again soon,
Oh,
man,
man.
for sure. And we'll see you at the Kush Cup. We'll definitely be talking
And
to you
on
a
the
lot more.
boat.
That's right. Yeah, red one from the Rascalz. New place in town, new dispensary in town, Red Man in Vancouver. Check the place out, 231 Abbott Street.
Yeah, so just to let you know the kind of things that this Health Expo developed into a pot Health Expo through negotiations with the P&E, and they've been like really awesome at understanding our concept. I want to be clear that we're trying to have this a Health Expo, and it's not some big pot show.
Yeah.
It is a component to it, but we're trying
both.
to get
It's a big pot
it's
show
both,
and a
yeah.
Health Expo.
Yeah, but the idea is that we have people that are going to Playland, you know, come into a environment where they can enjoy themselves at a Health Expo and learn about cannabis.
Yeah.
Both.
And I think you've done a pretty
Yeah.
damn good job of
Yeah.
making this one work so far. We'll see how it actually, if you pull it off or not. But so far,
I don't care. I'm
man,
gonna have fun.
It's looking huge.
I'll
It's
tell you right
looking
now,
huge.
it's not going to be an empty show. The booths are sold out, so we've had to add a little bit more space. So there is
Oh.
a few booths left.
Wow, that's
so
great
we've had
to
to
hear, man.
expand. So and yeah, we've got a huge indoor area for glass blowing. So it's going to be a big spectacle there. So of not just Red Beer himself, but his whole crew. So whatever, and you know the glass gatherings the following weekend that we're all going to.
That's right.
So you can just imagine the crazy pieces that are going to come there. And if you want the best deals on glass, it's right after it's done.
Right
To
after it's
secure
done.
the price.
I was gonna say it's right here in the
As it's
store
finishing.
downstairs at 307 West
Yeah.
Hastings.
Yeah. So for $10, and I can tell you the discounts are way better when you get them there. Even at the rallies on Canada Day. Oh yeah, man. There's so many different pieces. I always end up buying shit I don't need that still in my glove compartment, but it's beautiful.
Speaking of shit that you bought that you probably don't need, but it's pretty awesome.
Pipe guy. I don't have a lot of pipes. I hit the bong. I love the fucking bongs.
What your new video that's up on the front page of Pot.tv right now is called High Tech, and it has you hitting this octopus crazy device.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that thing's cool. Is that yours? Did you buy that toy, or is that somebody else's toy?
That's mine.
That's yours. And so,
Yeah.
what's this unit you got over here that's off camera, but we could show it off?
This gear bong, they have different frozen components to it. It's all interchangeable. So I have
They
two of
can't
them.
see it on the thing. I don't know
Oh,
if we move
sorry.
it over.
There's our bong model.
Okay, thanks, Marius. Okay. All right.
see it
Too
now?
close. You can see part the top half of it. Yes.
Yeah, so it's right here, this thing.
Looks good.
Yeah, so it's awesome because you put it in a freezer and you get the really nice smooth tokes.
We have a lot of big joints here. And you're lighting
Did we
a new
smoke
one.
red one out or what? He's gone now. We can
Yeah,
talk about it.
yeah.
He's like, I gotta go. Yeah, he's sunk deeper
was
into the
probably
couch.
busy.
Yeah, he was down here by.
I was gonna ask him more about.
Yeah, it's, I medicate weed.
I wanted to ask him more about his future music projects and stuff, but we'll have to talk to him at the Kush Cup about that. We got carried away talking about marijuana related.
In reality, that guy is a legend. He really did like protest against the Junos and that.
Oh
and
no,
they put
Red
it on
One
the map. It
and the
was huge.
Rascalz are amazing. Absolutely, definitely, hands down, my favorite rap group from Vancouver. No doubt about
Oh,
it.
for sure. For
They
the West Coast, they're
run
huge
this
for hip-hop.
town, man, for
Yeah,
sure.
For hip hop.
Yeah, no, legends in my eyes for sure. And we need more hip hop like that around these days.
Yeah.
But yeah, so and it's cool that you're helping put these guys like throwing them down, and you brought them last year sort of back together in Canada, and so that was cool. And also that was happening with Swollen members. We were talking about
I'm
that
personal
shit
fans
too.
of the Rascalz. Yeah, and Swollen members to perform with Mocha only.
But no Swollen at this expo.
They're on tour. They got okay to go in the States. They're on like the Warp Tour. They just did the Tellus ski board and Snow
lighter at
Festival
me.
in Whistler. That shit's the bomb. If you have never been to that, the Crank Festival too at Whistler, go to that. It's awesome. It's a wicked festival. But anyways, yeah, so they're on tour, so I couldn't get them. Oh, and I'll be releasing the Bazaar song. I couldn't get Bazaar over the border in Toronto. I tried to secretly get him over the border for the Kush.ca party, and he didn't bite and come over. But because he wasn't able to make it last year, I have got a Kush Cup song that he wrote with the 3D video coming out 3 days before the Kush Cup. So look out for that.
A 3D video.
Yeah, it's just like 3D imaging video. You'll fucking see. I didn't make it.
So you get to see Bizarre's big gut in 3D.
No, Bizarre. No, this is all like designed. You'll
Oh,
see.
I see. Not that there's nothing wrong with Bizarre's big gut.
No,
I
it's
think
him singing. He made the
he's
song
quite
for
attractive.
me.
He's and I like his rap music.
I
Bizarre
love
from
his rap
D12
music.
we're talking about. He's hilarious.
I think the issue was he got a pot leaf tattooed the week for Kush Cup on his face.
On his face.
And then I released that video. If you look at the videos,
yeah,
of my
right. I
videos,
remember the video.
and he's like, "I'm coming to the Kush Cup" or whatever, right? And fucking, and then when he got to the border, they're like, he has no record. He swears up and down he's got no record. They didn't let him over the border.
They're like, you have a.
I shit you not.
pot
He's
leaf
like,
on
no
your
fucking
face.
reason. He's got no criminal record. I think Canada
leaf tattoo on the
Customs are
face?
like, fucking, you got a pot leaf on your face.
Yeah, that might disqualify you from border travel.
I love Bizarre, so if he's out there, I love you, big guy.
I'm sure he's
Borders
watching right
separate
now.
us.
I know he watches the show every week.
Definitely.
So yeah, we also
Borders separate us.
we have a video that you sent to Marius.
Which one?
It's this.
Is
it's
this
a
the Kush
preview
Cup
of the
one?
Kush Cup. Yeah.
Oh yeah, one of my friends made up for me. Actually, my show manager, my friend, so he is my friend, but my show manager on the Kush Cup song, Sean McKay, made this video, and it just kind of shows you a little bit of the venues and like the best shot in it I like is the Center for Performing Arts. I don't think people realize they have like huge operas here. It's like a massive opera hall. It's like really classy for what we're doing there.
Yeah. Yeah. That's it's cool that you're in all these places, man.
Weed friendly.
All right. Well, can we play that video, Marius?
How about my
Believe so.
Butterbox video? That shit's on fire.
That literally, yeah, it is on fire, and you just about
It's
died.
not a waste. I don't know why people say it's a waste.
No, it was a cool experiment. I wouldn't want to do it every morning or anything, but
Not at all. I want to do it with really
that's
good.
also on the front page of Pot TV right now. If you haven't seen the 35-gram butter hot box, is what he's talking about.
It's
Where
viral.
It's like it's you sitting in front of this little fireplace kind of thing, or what is it? It's like a hot plate or something.
I'll explain a little better because I want people to, if they're gonna do it right. You gotta light the coals outside, okay? Because burning that shit indoors ain't good. So we're smart about it. We burn it outside. We get them all nice and red hot. We get the coals going. Then we take our extract in a room and we throw it on there.
Mm-hmm. And you throw it right onto the coals,
Right onto the coals.
and it was just a pillar of smoke coming out like fucking Moses.
At the
or
start of the
something.
video, you can see I decided to have a toke, and that annihilated me for the rest of the video. That's it. I had to leave after like 20 minutes or something like that.
Yeah,
My
you were, like,
cameraman left.
fall on the
I didn't
ground,
even know he
huffing and
left.
puffing.
We cut the video, and then you see me. I come outside. I'm like, we're down a cameraman. I didn't know he left. I was in there dying, kind of crouched down under the desk, looking for any oxygen that wasn't there, and you can't recover from any breath. And
Well,
then I was like,
I'm
"Where's
glad
the
you're still
cameraman?" They're like,
alive.
"Oh, he's outside." I couldn't see far enough to see that he was out of the room.
That's really funny. Yeah, it was just a thick fucking cloud. Well,
Yeah.
watch the video. We're not going to play that one, but we'll play the Kush Cup one. Is that ready, Marius? All right. Let's watch the Vancouver Health Expo Kush Cup trailer preview.
It's a Kush Cup.
Yeah. 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 Smoking on that good weed. It's a new year, baby. 2013. Live from the Kush Cup. Yeah. 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 Smoking on that good weed. It's a new year, baby. 2013. Live from the Kush Cup. Rosario. And Kush Cup. Yo, hey. Wanna smoke a little right quick. I want it, I want it, I need it, I need it, to have it, to have it. I'm smoking, we smoking. Welcome to the Kush Cup. Come on, one time, y'all. Hey, I want it, I want it, I need it, I need it, to have it, to have it. We smoking, we smoking. Welcome to the Kush Cup. Welcome to the Kush Cup. Welcome to the Kush Cup. Kush Cup. Yo, hey. I want to smoke a little bit right quick. Hit the chorus right quick. I want it, I want it, I need it, I need it, to have it, to have it. I'm smoking, we smoking. Welcome to the Kush Cup. Come on, one time, y'all. Hey, I want it, I want it, I need it, I need it, to have
These things up. Look at these joints. Light them up, buddy.
Spark them up.
People knew the truth. They're on.
The truth
Spark 'em
about
up,
all the
buddy.
joints left in our ashtray that haven't been smoked.
There's only
that'd
one.
be,
These
that'd be
ones are
embarrassing.
done. There's only these ones.
I need a lighter to light that up. So yeah, that was the.
That was a sneak peek of the song, actually.
Yeah, the song was there.
That's some of the Kush Cup
Definitely more
songs.
of a Kush Cup ad than probably a Health Expo ad.
Yeah, but it has some of the keynote speakers there. Is what
That's
I
true.
meant. Tied it
Rom mentioned in the chat. He said, "This just screams medical to me." Yeah, I think I agree with him there. But you know,
if you're
the Kush
sick,
Cup
you
is
should be
having fun.
living like there's no tomorrow. So
There you
if
go.
anyone should be partying, it's someone with a critical illness or disability. They should be enjoying life to the fullest.
Rights, man. I
You
agree
know?
with that
And,
100%.
like,
Yeah.
So if that comes across as like us partying is wrong or something, I don't know why that comes across. Like, we're allowed to have fun and be sick. Do you know what I mean? It's
Hell
like,
yeah.
you know what I mean? And have girls and guys and partying and fun.
Yep. Agreed. I agree. Whether you have an illness or not.
Exactly.
And it's, yeah, as you said, especially if you have one.
So and,
Take your mind off your illness for a while.
yeah, and like I want everyone to know that I'm the president of a dispensary, but I'm for like 100% legalization for everyone, and it's a substance that doesn't have any harm compared to anything else, especially, you know.
Yeah.
So like
Compared
yeah,
to anything,
I'm
even water.
100% down for recreational use. So like the dispensary model's there to help specifically sick people, but that doesn't mean I don't think everyone shouldn't, you know, not be able to partake in cannabis as a recreational substance.
Right. So we talked a lot about what's going to be there at the Kush Cup. Jason Wilcox is here, and Jason is working on a new campaign to basically repeal the new medical marijuana regulations that the government is trying to put forward.
Here, I like growing weed.
Yeah, no shit. Because as of 2014, the government of Canada will be taking away personal production licenses and personal, any sort of personal growing at all, or a designated grower, you won't be able to exist. So,
Okay, well,
it's
I'm gonna
be-
dab it up and give the warm seat to him and move
Yeah.
over.
Jason, you want to come on?
Come on
and
up, buddy.
Come here and let's have a chat about what you guys are doing. You guys will be at the Kush Cup and at the Vancouver Health Expo portion of it. I'm sure more than the Kush Cup. But
Oh no, they're there both.
you'll be at the Kush Cup hanging.
No, they're
sure.
lead sponsors, so we want to thank them most of all.
Excellent.
Right on.
How you
Thanks
doing,
for having
man?
me.
Good to see ya. Give me one of these, or give me one of these.
Oh, one of these old.
Boom, the right way. That's how it's really done. That's regular handshakes.
I
Just
learned the West
don't
Coast
do it
shake.
for me.
I learned the West Coast shake. I
That's
never knew
right.
That one. That was me.
Oh yeah, there's a few. Yeah, you throw a joint in. 2 joints in each other's mouths.
That's another West Coast shake. I guess. Yeah, that works. All right.
So yeah, we had you on the show a couple weeks ago, talk about your group and what you guys are working on with John Conroy, and basically rallying against these crazy new laws. But you guys are going to be at the Health Expo as well, right?
Absolutely.
Nice. What are you guys doing at the expo, and what will you be telling people about?
Well, my sponsors, Green Planet, have got me going down there. You know, thanks to their sponsorship, I'm actually able to attend in the capacity of, representing them, as well as our other sponsors, Pacific Northwest Garden Supply, and then of course their endorsement of the MMAR Coalition Against Repeal, trying to protect personal production for the future of Canada. Let that siren zing by us.
Yeah, we got the
Couldn't have timed
Cops
it any
are-
better. This
yeah,
is an
hide all the
emergency,
shit.
So listen to him.
Pay up. No, so the MMAR Coalition Against Repeal, basically we're at the point now that the Health Expo, that's where you guys knocked that shit off. What the hell is this?
Whole
Is
neighborhood's
this
on fire.
Yeah, what's going on out there? We're missing something.
Yeah, so you guys will be. So that's cool that they're supporting you on that level as well, right?
And most importantly, I was going to say John Conroy will be speaking on Sunday about the MMAR Coalition for y'all out there that want the legal perspective. I'll also be speaking about the coalition more from a medical perspective. I stay away from the legalities. I speak more from a straight up perspective. I believe we all know the end game in this is legalization. Those of us with papers that have a license, we're no different than the people that don't in the area of what, in my own opinion, I take my coalition hat off right now, and I'm Jason Wilcox speaking, okay, under the charter. In my own opinion, if medical patients pave the path right now and protect personal production under the charter, whatever model they come up with has to look like Colorado, where they have to incorporate personal production because it will already be case established under the charter. It's not something Harper can just strike. It takes the House, the Senate, and the Premier to strike down anything established under the charter. So understand, my friends, charter law is not criminal law. And this is what we're going after. In fact, we're doing something historic in nature, in that we're going after the government and we're restraining them before they pass a law. Hasn't been done before. Not in a long time, not of this nature. 4,000 medical patients so far signed up and said, we want to do this.
And so,
John.
tell us about how it's going to look. Like, what's the structure of this? It's a lawsuit, basically, right?
Yeah, it's been 8 months. It's been building 8 months with John W. Conroy, QC, Queen's Counsel, who graciously entertained the idea that we could raise up an army in opposition to this, and that we could raise the funds to secure a legal opinion to move forward with this case, which we're now doing. So it's something that, of course, we got to thank John for, because he's put in at least 150 hours of pro bono work for the medical patients of this country. And there's
Not only that, but his prior legal work and also for Insight.
Insight as well, big time. That's his
Sorry,
prior
John's-
stuff.
cut you off, but yeah,
No,
it's
John's a
just
great
an
guy, for
amazing
sure.
lawyer, not just for charter rights, period.
Yeah,
So
John's
our
been on the
biggest-
show several times.
Yeah, no, charter law is like, and that's the thing where, it's kind of like, I had a talk with Dana the other day. How does, a sensible BC potentially tie into what we're doing? Well, what we're doing is a federal thing that will establish personal production for medical patients now. If Canada legalizes in 3 years, 2 years, next year, whatever, Canada was to legalize, it would already be charter established to produce. Therefore, a model more like Colorado, rather than getting bitch slapped like Washington and waking up the next day and realizing we can't grow the very plant we fought, for me, over a decade to protect and grow and share. And it shouldn't be just me with a pink paper that should be allowed to have it, in my own opinion. Just because I'm qualified and somebody else is, and I don't see how that is equal in any way, other than the fact that they use the word medical and they won't spell the word marijuana right. Has anybody ever looked at that factor? Why'd they move it in with tobacco decanate if they're not looking at legalizing? That's for a distribution model, in my own opinion. I think that's setting it up. If you look at the standardization, everything that they put in place, it's the same as tobacco. UV lighting, the packaging, the security, it's all the same as tobacco. That's why they moved it in with tobacco decanate. If somebody doesn't step in and say, wait, you can't take the whole pie, you're not taking our whole pie. I know I didn't fight for 10 years. And I know Mark's always said, let's overgrow the government. You can't overgrow the government if you can't grow. Not unless you want to face Bill C-10, or else do it alone and make sure that you don't have those aggravating factors to make it apply. Understand the law.
And of course, what the government has proposed, instead of having these personal grows for medical marijuana patients, is a system of commercial producers, and patients themselves will have to order pot through the mail. And of course, we've seen what happens when Health Canada is responsible for setting up a system of mail order marijuana. We already have one now, and it's the worst shit you can get.
It's also the regulations that they want them to, how they want to treat the pot too.
Right. Well, there's a
UV
total
lighting and
That's right.
Radiation.
Yeah, radiation.
Yeah, the radiation's the worst.
I mean,
There's a lot of problems.
So it causes cancer is radiation.
I remember in 2004 on the national committee, it was Cannabis as a Therapy, it's our right, it's our choice, or whatever it was called. It was 2004 National Committee. Phil Lucas, Rael Kapler, and myself were on that committee. And we analyzed and tore apart the old regulations, and at that time they were proposing the PPS system. And I told them then, one strain will not fix all. I still say now, no matter what you do, you cannot control and patent evolution. When you cross plant A with plant B, you get plant C. It's like human genetics. What works for me might not work for him. You know, so medically you cannot patent this or control this. You know, you can standardize it for some pain management and do exactly what they've done with Sativex. They've reintroduced that to pharmacopoeia. It's a straight cannabis derivative, but yet they won't introduce cannabis sativa back into pharmacopoeia and make it a medicine so doctors can actually freaking prescribe and medical patients can get what they deserve. And you're right, people are medical. I don't give a shit if you come home. I ask every recreational user, man, why use it? Oh man, it takes the edge off.
Anxiety,
or you know, it gives me a good appetite. You know, helps me. You know, I'm like, and you don't see that as an appetite stimulant or helps me sleep. Well, that doesn't replace a sleeper. Some of us don't even realize we're using it medicinally and we don't know it. This fight that we're doing now is for medical users, yes, because they're trying to take our right to produce away. If we establish it under the charter, which was failed to be done in the 2001 Parker case, understand in this country, the license you hold is a regulatory option. It is not a right. You only have a right to use cannabis medicinally. You do not have a right to grow it. We hope to change that, and we hope to stop the repeal of your license prior, hopefully, to September 30th, when no more renewals or new licenses will be issued. If we fail to get that date, we'll certainly file, Mr. Conroy has been quoted in the paper, by March 31st, 2014, one way or the other, to seek an injunction followed by a constitutional challenge. And once again, I'll repeat myself, that an injunction is basically a restraining order on the federal government. So my friends, fill out the impact statements. When you see the donation boxes, shout out to Cannabis Culture headquarters here for hosting our donation boxes, for allowing people to come in and pick up information. If you want to know, come down. If you want to donate, come down. You want to know questions, the answers are right there in the pamphlets. We're just ordered 10,000.
Or if you want to meet John himself, he's presenting at the Health Expo also.
Yes,
so
John,
Mr. Conroy
exactly.
and also Kirk Tusaw will be presenting, so you can come actually speak with the man himself about the actual case. If you're not a believer already, after being so well spoken like that, I don't know why you wouldn't, but John is also speaking there, so on the case itself.
And this is where we as medical patients, you know, we're 4,000 strong now after 8 months. But this is 8 months where people thought political avenue this way, they're going to listen, da 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 da. There was people working in the background with Mr. Conroy saying, no, they're not, because we've been through this for 10 years with the MMAR. You know, battle after battle after battle to make somewhat of a reasonable limits to access. And it's something that is beyond, again, a new issue. They come in with something that is 10 times worse than the MMAR ever was. You know, it's more like a hostile takeover. I said 8 months ago in the first video I did that this is, to me, the cannabis culture won't be the same. They're going to put us back 10 years, and stuff like this show, stuff like the things we do, stuff like our distribution models that are already in place, the frontline workers that understand strain specifics, the ability to get different strains for different pains, to eliminate those genetics and the ability to research that for a plant that's never killed anybody. Come on. Worse is freaking Canada. Since when did we stop protecting our sick, our dying, and our elderly? That's what we pride ourselves on. This is a failed healthcare system. It's a failed fucking government, and we need Harper out. You know, and some sensible policy, reasonable limits, you know, to access for medical patients who choose to grow or use cannabis without interference. We shouldn't have to be raising $250,000 to fight you again, but we will, and we're here. We're not going nowhere.
Well, and I'm glad you are, man. And I'm glad you're so passionate about it. Yeah, give him a clap for that one. Nice. Well, very well said. But yeah, it's people like you that are the reason that we are going to win on this one, and why they can't just waltz in and start taking everything away that we've already established. So
exactly.
Yeah, and I just, you know, people are really scared out there right now. There's a lot of patients who have been growing their own, and they are biting their nails and wondering what the fuck's going to happen.
You know,
in these new rules, they're not providing it for patients that can't grow it or either, right? So it's not like they're taking a beneficial step forward.
No, they're
making it even worse access than it already was.
Yeah. They're
Now
taking
people
away
can't
access.
even then afford it. You can only afford to grow it,
Well,
or get someone to grow it.
by their own cost benefit, here's where you know their own cost benefit analysis. You'll read this, and we just ordered 10,000 trifolds to be printed, so they'll be getting out and distributed with our lock boxes. But in there, you know, you'll understand more of kind of what I'll even look at more of the impact statements. I'd rather refer to that. Having filed myself now over 600 impact statements, I tell you now, there's a lot of people, one, you're scared to lose your license, but I also understand why. It's not just about those who've invested in their grows. I understand the other patients who, your God-given fear of going back onto Oxycontin, morphine, or some other pharmaceutical you don't want to take. And your right to autonomy is protected under the charter. It's been established. So the question is, does it extend to the right to personally cultivate what you're going to consume? So here's where we stand now. And can you have a caregiver do it for you if you can no longer do it for yourself? What's reasonable policy? Also, we just need to look over, though they're only at the state level, not at the federal level, just take a look over the border. Let's take a look at what's going on in Colorado, because there's your stats, there's your facts. Our houses burning down, our mold being shutting down houses because of grow ops. You know, I hate the term grow op. I like the term garden, because it's our gardens. Grow ops are illegal, okay? Gardens are legal. Medical patients have been caught in the crossfire of prohibitionary policy for 10 years. We fought it, and now you're coming down with a new thing so irreversible that we have to take you to court prior to you enacting the law. We have to repeal it before you can enact it. That's horrible. It's deplorable. Yeah. And I hope that Canadians can understand how important this is. And those of you fighting for legalization, I hope you understand how important this is for personal production now and for the future of this country.
Absolutely, man. Very well said. Yeah, and so you guys will be there at the Health Expo.
I should say on the calming down part, because I'm passionate about this, and it's because I get the phone calls, you know, and it's the people that a small committee of 12 people speak for. You know, we have an executive director, we have a secretary, we're lucky to have some really good and talented people working together, you know, to try and do what we can, you know, to get to where we have, which is what, 24,000? We need to get to 100,000 really just to get into court, to get moving. You know, like, this is a serious case. How serious are you about your license? You know, if every patient gave $4, the case would be done. And yet we give $15 a year to send off our license and renew it. I mean, really, it shouldn't be medical patients, but at this time, the battle lines have been drawn. You know, you want your license, stand up and fight. Tell the people you know, donate to the coalition, go to our website, MMAR Coalition Against Repeal.com, and just sign up. You know, say, hey, I want to be part of the coalition. We'll keep you updated. At least we get our support base and our registry up. You know, if you want to volunteer, there's a button there. If you'd be interested in the lockbox program, if you're a store owner, you know, we're just doing that stuff now. We've got our FedEx accounts open. We've got over 100 plus lockboxes going out for donations. You know, we don't want to go into this, and nor does Mr. Conroy, of course, want to go into this half-assed. We've taken our time in getting prepared, and we're now prepared to launch. You know, and it's game on. They've launched their game.
It costs money to do lawsuits like these. I don't think people understand. It's not like John's pocketing the money. You got to fly in key expert witnesses, and you got to pay for their accommodations and their flight just to get them there. And it's not a one-day thing. We're talking about months in court, day in, day out, to do a constitutional challenge or a charter challenge. So
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so
it is not cheap.
And those of you that are worried, if you pay, again, this is why it's good to register with the coalition, because as soon as we know, if we get the injunction, which we believe strongly that we will get, we will let you know, because that will then freeze the program, or at least the repeal aspect of the personal production that we're trying to repeal. It's not the LP issue. It's certainly not getting rid of the 30-page application or the fact nurses can sign. We don't care about any of that. We only care about one section that they want to repeal. If the judge actually agrees, they will freeze that.
Specialized nurses. Just sorry, I wanted to say that it's not every nurse.
Well, so, yes, but it's
sorry, I just didn't want to think every nurse. I hear that quite a few times. It's an actual specially trained nurse.
That's right.
Yeah.
Right. Well, yeah. It's
not a regular RN.
The definitions of the regulations get quite confusing, both for LPs and of course it's relatively plain for us that you
it
just
should be
pass.
naturopaths. I might find out. Is what John was telling me.
It should be legalized, but
yeah. Naturopaths are the
Bless
experts
you.
though. Like, doctors are not prescribing any plant matter. You don't go to your family local clinic and get a bag of anything green.
The problem with the problem
That's
lies,
the point,
no,
right?
the problem in the doctor lies very simple. These guys go to school for 7 years. I've advocated for patients over time And the doctors are relatively clear. They went to school, and unless you show them that waiver form from their insurers, then they don't know, and they don't want to sign. And I don't blame them, because it's not in pharmacopoeia. The U.S. took it out in 1942. They took cannabis sativa out. Prior to that, it was a medicine. They took it away. And it's been a reefer madness until the internet.
They're not educated to
No,
prescribe marijuana.
we've reversed that since the internet's come out. We've reversed all that reefer madness, and now we're trying to keep them from dividing the medical and legal. There's us and them. No, there's not. There's a cannabis culture, and there's the issue of personal production in this country while they legalize all around us. You know, and we got to ask ourselves: do we want to be Washington or Colorado? This is not rocket science to me. You know, if I was on either side of the fence, it's about production of my plants, and whether one day I could, or whether I can continue to. You know, it depends on your position. But either way, supporting the position of protecting it under the charter protects it for us all. It's just understanding how all this works. And I'm not even supposed to be putting it out this way, you know, because really when it comes to our case, it's about medical patients and barriers to access our medicine. But me as a person, I see this as a whole nother issue. You know, it should have been protected in 2001. The judge in the 2001 Parker decision said, had a cultivation been before the courts, he would have made the same decision under the charter, and we wouldn't be here talking about it today. And I feel like a parrot saying this, but it's a fact. And it's something we hope to introduce into this case. Well, I hope we will introduce into this case. And as well as the most recent Mironol decision where the judge as well said personal cultivation should be protected under the charter. Yeah. Two different judges. You know, and most recently, Chris Bennett's, I'm not sure if Chris Bennett's case is going to tie into ours at all. I haven't talked to John, so I can't.
Religious appeal.
Exactly, yeah. I can't, but with the wording of the seed thing, I'm not sure how that's going to play, and I can't speak legally to it, so I'll leave that for John when he speaks on his own issues around that. So anyway, yeah, I'll leave it alone at that, because it's when it comes to legalities.
Jason, I was going to ask you.
So don't be cheap. Donate. It's time.
That's right.
That's it.
Actually, give the website address super quick. But I wanted to ask you about some of your other projects as well. What's the website address one more time? www.MMAR Coalition Against Repeal.com. Right.
Yeah, you guys. You see, this is what happens when you come on Pot TV on the third freaking interview. Or second interview, because then you're too medicated to really talk straight. So. There's
a lot of medicating going on here on the show usually. But yeah, I wanted to ask you about you're a filmmaker as well, and you have a YouTube channel, and you put up a lot of your videos, and that you go to different expos. You were at the TY Expo in Toronto, did a bunch of stuff there. You were at 420 here in Vancouver. Will you be shooting anything at the upcoming Kush Cup and Health Expo?
Absolutely, yes. We've arranged with Mark to be one of, I believe, yourself.
Green Planet's the biggest sponsor, one of their biggest sponsors.
Yeah, there's ourselves and of course our associates at Pacific Northwest Garden Supply that are going to be there, and we hope to be making a good presence and a good representation while we're there. And those of you that want to know about nutrients, you want to know those technical questions about equipment, come down and talk to us. That's your chance. You know, it's a health expo. You want to learn about protein shakes or vitamins, go down to the Health Expo. There's a lot of different things going on. Check it out. We're going to be there, Cannabis in Canada. We're going to be doing live interviews. Green Planet's going to be there. We'll be on stage. Again, John and myself will be speaking about the MMAR Coalition in a little more detail. And of course, not this medicated. Well, likely, likely this medicated.
Probably.
I don't know about that, man. You sound like you're going to get loaded up there.
Any videos you do
make, medical marijuana booth?
We'll be putting them on Pot TV. So
tent.
That's awesome. Yeah. And I do appreciate the shout outs, and once again we appreciate the boxes being put here at the CCHQ and raising the funds for us to help us with the fight.
Yeah, man. Anything we can do to help, we're here for you.
That's super awesome.
Thanks a lot, man.
Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, excellent. That was Jason Wilcox. Totally awesome, man. The stuff you guys are working on, we really need this to happen. You guys are on the front lines here making this work. Unfortunately, oh yeah, watch that cord there.
Yeah, I'm holding on the mic though. I know.
Unfortunately, your adversaries in this one are a tough opponent. But we'll see how.
You want me to scoot over?
You could scoot over for sure.
Comfy.
Come on back, brother.
You want some candies?
I like candies. Oh yeah. Last week on the show, I think it was last week.
It was.
I ate like 2 bags of these things, and I was really messed up by the end of the show.
We did the Dabathon after, didn't we?
Was that last time? I don't know. It all blurs together to me. And Karina, do you want to come over here and have a?
Let's pick on Jeremiah together.
You could come out here and
yay!
And actually, Amanda, you could come out on here too if you want to. You should. It's your birthday, by the way. Amanda's birthday was yesterday. Happy birthday to Amanda. Amanda, my lovely roommate. And Karina, my lovely girlfriend. Hi, Karina.
Hi.
You're looking sexy.
Thanks.
As usual.
As usual. Do you want a piece of candy?
No, thank you.
How about the
really
director
baked.
dude that came up and was just like, the lighting looks so good on her.
Oh,
Yeah, like,
Roger? Was Roger hitting on you? Roger Larry, the
no,
filmmaker?
he's a lighting and set guy. That's what he does,
No,
remember?
Yeah, no, he's a filmmaker.
He was telling us we should put out that light because it was shining
I
too
know
much
he was
on the
helping
projector.
us. That's what he was saying. He was saying we're getting a bit of a flood from that one light on the screen. He was trying to be constructive.
It felt really real, like a real set with him, and like he did have the air of a director. I
Hey,
didn't really want
these
to
guys
question
mean
him
business,
too much.
man.
Kind of took over.
He did.
He's a pro.
Yeah, that's what they do.
That's right.
Some people can just own it.
It's good to
That's
take
right.
advantage of these
He's
guys
probably
when they're
nobody.
around. and
He's
listen to
probably
them.
just some really high dude. I'm gonna be a director.
He's just some homeless guy who came in off the street.
Me and here is ripped. This guy sounds like he knows what he's talking about.
What flavor?
A tangerine orange.
Tangerine orange. That's really, really good.
Yeah,
That's what I ate last time. That was
it's
so
meant
good.
to be.
And there's lime this time too.
A very heavily dosed candy for people that are at a job or an activity where they can't be puffing down large or hitting their vaporizer.
Right.
So maybe you gotta like take the kiddies out.
Yeah, I'm allowed to smoke wherever I go for the most part. So, but I just like the taste of
That's
it.
not true. You can't smoke in the Vancouver aquarium. Take
Well,
your vaporizer, maybe you gotta
Inside
like,
the aquarium itself,
Yeah, I know.
it's
If you're
pretty
hit
wet in
trippy
there.
sticks, you can take them anywhere. Obviously, I know that.
Yeah, that's right.
And some people
Your little
prefer to
pen
eat. Some people don't
vaporizer.
want to inhale. A lot of people just prefer edibles. I don't know. We have people that come in the dispensary and they only buy edibles.
Edibles totally destroy
Yeah,
me
you know what I
every
mean?
time.
Yeah.
I really have a hard time with edibles. You're the guy who brings
Fridays,
me the
they're always
most.
fried.
It's
But
fried,
I
yeah.
must say,
He falls asleep early every Friday night.
he's been training though. He's a lot better on the edibles. Like I was surprised you didn't smash yourself too much in the face with that.
Yeah, no, I'm doing okay.
Yeah, he's been training. Fridays.
I have.
pretty
It's these
regular
bags
with
of
us.
popcorn.
Yeah.
I've had a harsh regime of popcorn every week.
learned.
Keep him up.
This
Yeah,
joint went out.
yeah, I know. I drink a pot of coffee and I still pass right out. Yeah, but see, that's what happens to me when I eat edibles. Is it just puts me right to bed. So that's why
That's
I'm
what
not
it's
a
good
big,
for.
huge fan. Well,
When
yeah,
people
if
say
I,
that to me, like, oh, I can't. It just puts me to sleep. I'm
But
like,
I don't
well, that
wanna
sucks
sleep.
right now, but man, that's awesome when you need to sleep. Because sometimes I
That's
just want a
true.
good night's rest,
yeah.
and I'm thinking about you, and I just don't know where you are, and you haven't called me, and you're not home.
I know. I'm sorry. Some nights
And
I'm
I'm
just
tossing
out
and turning,
on
and
the
then
prowl.
boom, I have me a cookie,
I know every
and that night I go.
every hour my alarm
Yeah, I
beeps
don't even care
to call
about you no more.
but sometimes
Eh.
it's
And
because
then
of
you
those
call
edibles
me.
I fall asleep.
And then you call me.
I'm not
4 in the
sleeping somewhere
morning.
behind a dumpster.
Yeah.
Okay, well, anyways,
The pocket
Cannabis
call.
Day. We haven't talked about Cannabis Day at all, and that's happening
I actually
right
booked
after.
my booth today.
Oh,
And-
good.
Yeah, like
Damn.
the actual tents, because like I'm sure as hell not setting it
Oh,
up
I was
on
gonna say.
on Monday.
You've already got your booth space.
It's
What's that?
Jeremy's birthday.
You heard it was sold
Seriously?
out?
What are you supposed to do?
All the booths are sold out already?
Seriously?
Well, I was going to tell people to go to the cannabisday.ca website and look at the booths that are left available. But since I haven't updated since earlier today and I just heard they're all sold out, that might be a bad idea.
They're never
Well,
all sold out,
don't
John.
go and check.
Don't listen to John.
Don't
We
go
can
and
make
check
more
the website
space.
because I'm the guy who updates the
We
website.
can make more space.
So, yeah, no. So if it truly is sold out, it's not represented yet on
Count
the
me in.
website.
Did you hear him?
Yeah,
He doesn't want anyone to go sign up
The
because he
thing
knows
is-
there's a few left.
right.
This was his strategic approach.
The thing is, for those who
John,
want
that was
booths,
clever.
everybody will get a booth. If you want
No matter
booths,
what.
you just show up on the day and make sure you're early, and you will absolutely get a booth.
We will
I
shut down Georgia if we have to. I
Yeah.
must say, like we'll make if there's. We'll
Hey,
have
man.
3,000 booths if we could do
We
it.
had over 100 booths last year, and I found every single person a spot, and they were all happy. Just about all of them were happy. So we managed it.
And until we're as big as the Sun Run, oh my God! Remember the next morning on the 420?
Yeah, that was
And
huge.
then I'm not satisfied. We could take over a street.
They were
Come on.
bumping that music
And they're
at
for
like
profit.
they're like playing like hardcore hip hop beats at like 7 in the morning right into our hotel room.
Some rock band or something too,
Oh,
right?
yeah,
It was
that's
like
right.
doing sound check.
Yeah.
And then I swear I open up the window, I look down, and there's like people waving.
I think
It's like 8 in the morning. It's early. Like
I know we're
really
getting
early.
off on a tangent here, but that sun run is a bit of a scam, and it's not actually about any sort of like. Or now they have a charity. It's an actual Vancouver
It's about the
Sun.
sun, which is very symbolic.
Yeah.
Okay, the sun is like the controls everything in
It's
the
like,
universe.
It's a thing that the
The center of the
Vancouver Sun
universe.
charges $90 or something to run in, so you can run down the street.
Are you serious?
You pay them $90 so you can
Fuck,
run
they're
down
rich. No, you don't understand. It was like blocks and blocks and blocks either way.
If I want to run down the
see,
road,
right? Yeah, you
I can
fucking
run down
see.
it any time
Okay,
for
you
free.
understand. It was $90. You're serious, $90.
Yeah, we looked it up.
How stupid
Pretty
are
sure.
people?
Unless I'm totally wrong, but I'm pretty sure. I remember looking it up.
Even if it was $9 there, Rich.
Anyway, okay, we're off on a
$90.
tangent. So
No,
Cannabis
we're
Day.
not. We're off on the sun run. $90.
And
Holy, let's
Neil
start our own.
Magnuson,
We're in the wrong.
Neil's in the house, and Neil should come on and talk about some of the Cannabis Day stuff. Neil, there's a microphone
And he
right
should
there.
sing.
Neil can sing for us.
Sing
well,
it.
Neil will. No,
Oh shit, we got him started.
we don't want to give away too much of that because people
Do
have
I need to
come
get
out
off the
to
couch
Cannabis
when
Day
we're in
to
the
see
shot, or can we slide over?
Neil sing.
Yes, he's
That's
in the
all
shot.
No, he's in the shot.
Yes, totally.
Wow.
Hi, Neil.
You don't have to.
Good to have you back on the show.
Solstice.
Neil Magnuson.
Summer solstice.
Happy
activist
solstice. Yeah, I
extraordinaire.
got told to go to a couple different parties for solstice.
Oh,
My naturopath friends.
oh, really?
Yeah,
Oh,
the
those.
solstice.
I bet those will be
Good
good parties.
food at those parties. Go
Good
to your
food.
solstice party if you've been invited to one.
I haven't, but I'm waiting for an invite now.
And go to Cannabis Day wherever
can always
you are
roll
if
with
they
me.
have one.
Well, that's the other thing.
Neil-
Yeah, I don't know how
Neil,
many Cannabis Days
the
there
mic's
are
over there.
across Canada. I know
You
we
gotta
have one in
speak into it.
Vancouver, and it's big. But are there other Cannabis Days? We will find out some of that, and you can watch the front page of Cannabis Culture for input.
Let's just make them right now.
Well,
Okay,
yeah,
so in Calgary, we're gonna do it at the Olympic Oval there.
It's
Yeah,
flooded
like-
right now.
they might be
It's
flooded
flooded
out.
right now,
Yeah,
yeah.
I was gonna
Flooded right
say
now?
they're
All right, right
evacuating
beside the
entire
Elbow
city.
River. We're gonna.
Props to our friends in Calgary, by the way. We're all thinking about you, praying for you. You know, hope the water goes away soon.
Nobody's
that's terrible.
dying. It didn't go above.
No,
the
nobody's
bridge.
even gotten
I
injured
read
yet,
there,
which is
yeah,
kind of
like,
crazy.
So,
but,
have
100,000
fun in
people.
your evacuation area.
But you know what? There's
I'm from
sure
Illinois, families there.
there's a lot of news going on. Calgary is just one of the things that are happening in the crazy world today. I did have other news I wanted to talk about too. We will do that actually after we talk to Neil.
Four dead?
Cannabis Day.
Yeah,
Four died
but
in
Cannabis
Calgary?
Day. Let's get back to Cannabis Day.
It's so important. This might be the most important year ever for Cannabis Day because what it's really about is freedom, right? That's what we've been talking about all day on your show here.
That's
behind
right.
this. It's about freedom, damn it. We deserve the right to grow whatever plants we want, share amongst ourselves. Okay, if you want to sell it to the public, maybe you need some regulations or some oversight or a license. I don't know. But I know I get to grow, you get to grow, we all get to grow, we all get to smoke, roll in it, wash our hair in it, whatever we want, anything we want, because that's what freedom is all about. And Cannabis Day
Shoot
is
it out of a
so,
t-shirt,
so
guy?
important.
I don't know why I just get into my head.
Anything.
We should have be allowed to shoot
As
it
long
at
as
the
you're not
t-shirt
hurting
I knew we
somebody
missed
else, right?
one thing though.
Yeah.
You almost got them all.
As long as you don't shoot it
Shoot 'em out
directly
of
at
the t-shirt,
anybody.
yeah.
Man, there's a million things you
No,
can do. and you're
people
not hurting
want to have a
nobody,
shot
right?
at them. Shoot at me! Shoot
Yeah.
at me!
We haven't begin to find all the
things.
things we can do without hurting other people, you know. And we need all these people doing different things that don't hurt other people, and let them do that. And so we get to speak, and it's important because technology is closing in on us, and those people, because we've been kidnapped, folks, by the financial elite. That's why we have prohibition of drugs, and it's important now because this technology is closing in on us. They got drones, they got surveillance going on, they got all this shit.
All this NSA stuff. They're
Oh,
spying
man.
on every single thing that everybody does at all times on Skype, on Facebook, on everything you can imagine. All
It
your
is
Google searches.
so important.
They
that
also
we
have
Canadians.
people blogging. That's the one that
Oh,
pisses
yeah.
me off. The
Oh, they
Canadian
have-
government has people going out there. They call
Right.
it social correcting or something like that. Was the wording?
Oh yeah,
It's
wow.
on, like,
just-
CTV News.
Jesus, it sounds so Nazi or
Literally,
something.
so they can like go on my YouTube account. I know they do.
Oh man.
And they're just like,
Oh yeah.
Censorship.
Oh no, they
weed causes cancer.
literally-
And like, what fucking
government
year are you
trolls,
from?
literally
bud?
government internet trolls,
Yeah.
paid for
putting
by
out
the
misinformation
Stephen Harper's
and
office.
all the rest of it. No, it's really, really important because we Canadians are leading the fight for freedom. And that's what it's really all about. And it's really, really important. If they can take away our right to use the most beneficial, most benign substance on the planet, then boy, I'll tell you, we're not free. And they're going to lock us down in the future if we don't get this right. So on behalf of the whole rest of the world and all of history and mankind and for the future of this planet, we need to make sure that we get this linchpin out of place and freedom can reign after that.
That's
So
right.
come on out. You know, righteous people break bad laws. That's what it's all about. I mean,
It's free and it's fun.
you know, let's not take
Lots
this
of
for
weed.
granted. Let's do what our forefathers did and put our lives on the line. Get out there, put our faces on those cameras and say, we deserve the right to be free, whatever that means. And in the case of cannabis, it's a great example to grab onto. Come on out and support the cannabis activists and the rallies and come to Cannabis Day, because it's important to stand up against bad laws. That's what good people do.
Absolutely. And Neil, it's funny.
And we're going to try and convince the artists at the Kush Cup to come on the Monday. So no promises, but hopefully you can get.
That would be very cool if they showed up.
Cool I'm gonna really beg Be Real to come and do a couple. Hey, wouldn't that be good?
Oh man, Be Real at Cannabis Day in Vancouver.
Yeah, I think we could pull it off.
Hey, maybe the Vancouver Sun might actually show up to cover it then.
Wow.
You know, the Vancouver Sun, we had the biggest 420 we've ever had on April 20th here in Vancouver, and not one of the mainstream newspapers put it in the daily edition. Yeah, not one.
You know why?
Because
in the morning, they had to be up
for the sun
run.
Yeah, and actually, it's funny you say that because I called.
Exactly what it was.
I called.
Oh, we fucking missed that one.
I called and spoke with the editor of the Vancouver Sun, and the editor told me that the reason was because they were overbooked with the Sun Run and they didn't have anybody to send down there.
No shit.
Wow. And she said, we sent a
busy
photographer.
Counting our $90
down at some point, I thought, and I said, I didn't see anything. They didn't even know.
Busy counting money.
Well, let's make such a big fuss on Cannabis Day. They can't ignore us. Let's put up such a huge
like
crowd
that
that they'll all come and find us.
journalists or anything, you know. Like they couldn't send one of their hippie guys. You know,
hey, I said to both the editors.
Let's send Chuck. We'll give him a quarter page so they don't bitch at us afterwards.
It couldn't be that their bosses are really tied into wanting the drug war to continue, could it?
Well, we'll find out this next time because
I think it's just they're weird on it because it's not true.
No, it might be.
They just did an article for me. The guy was total pot hack.
No, we're gonna make it easier for them because now I've worked out a deal with them that we're gonna provide them content when it happens. So we'll be able to send them photos and stuff, and they'll run that stuff.
Oh, good job. Yeah man.
So that's what they say anyway. Now they don't have any excuse, and they've already both the province and the Vancouver Sun have said that they'll take our content. So
did you threaten them?
Oh yeah, I went down there with
send an email.
I went down there with a T-shirt cannon full of weed.
Bribe them a little bit.
Went down there with a T-shirt cannon full of weed and just aimed it right at him. Said it'll be the first cannabis overdose if you get shot with this cannon. But I was going to say about the whole NSA thing, and you say that this is now the time more than ever for this. And part of, I think, what they're doing with this NSA thing, or part, maybe not, you know, I know that it's not necessarily planned that Edward Snowden came out with this information, but the press has moved into overdrive to try and use this as an opportunity to change a few things in our society for the worse. And one of them is that they are trying to make civil disobedience a crime completely. Yeah. And they're trying to make it so that anybody who speaks up for what's truth and justice in real life, if it's against the law, even though the laws are bad, it might still be part of the law, those people are public enemy number one. And so that's,
I feel it with that's weed,
scary.
So just even about anything, eh? Like,
well, and they're trying to get you to accept that it's a good thing that they're surveilling you. They want you to think that it's a great thing that they're taking your calls and making sure you're not a terrorist. And if you're not a terrorist, you got nothing to worry about.
Yeah.
And you know, and that's what they're trying to do as well with that.
Oh yeah.
Same thing they've done all along. They're brilliant. You know, they take everything that happens and turn it to their own advantage and trying to more and more oppress us and get their ability to control us.
That's right. They co-opt every movement.
That's right.
Yeah, and you know they're going to do it with this one for sure as well.
Let's break open the popcorn. I'm hungry.
Let's start munching.
The weed will prevail. The sacred herb will save us. I believe it is the answer to these problems that we.
When it's guns versus flowers, the flowers are going to win.
They will in the end. They will in the end.
So Cannabis Day, July 1st, Vancouver. We'll let you guys know if there's other places in Canada.
I'll be there
doing the same thing.
There's way more brave people with flowers than there are corrupt people with guns.
Will be there.
It's fun.
Oh man.
Come on down.
I'm sure the Normal Women's Alliance will be there and Urban Grower.
That's right.
Everybody will be there.
There's one thing we haven't talked about just briefly I want to before we finish off about Cannabis Day, and that's the open cannabis farmers market. Sales to everybody, not just people that have medical licenses. Here in Vancouver, open sales to everybody with the cops standing by, helping us shut traffic down, helping us orchestrate things.
Keep people safe.
It's kind of unique in the world to Vancouver. So it didn't happen overnight. But it took some work to get to where we are now. Hopefully, we can export this model to other places.
Yeah, it happens because of David Malmo-Malian's hug power and video camera power and righteous people speaking truth to power when they try to move in and arrest you.
For like over 20, 30 years.
Yeah, he got himself arrested a number of times and was continuing willing to do that. And hug power is that you hug the person that's being arrested, and the more people that do that, the better off you are. And you got to make sure it's being videotaped. And everybody that doesn't get in there and hug, well, they just chant at the cops that, you know, your mothers wouldn't be proud of what you're doing, and these laws are wrong, and if there's no victim, there's no crime, and all the rest of that righteous stuff that is the truth in the face of this tyranny against our rights as individuals to simply pursue a harmless lifestyle and take advantage of nature's greatest herb.
Awesome.
Yeah, man.
Thanks, Neil. Neil, you sing a song every Cannabis Day and every event we have.
You want me to do that?
No, I don't want you to do it now because I want people to
then
come.
everyone have to stand up. And,
That's right.
You know.
No. You already gave us a sneak peek, but I think people do enjoy that at the events.
I enjoy doing it.
Mm-hmm. I remember recently, I think the timing of your song got changed. And I heard people in the crowd saying, when are they going to sing the song? When are they going to sing the song?
Nice.
So I was like, oh yeah, there's somebody who loves Magnuson.
I wrote that song in 2005 before the 420 rally, and mostly for the Cannabis Day rally, because there was some other versions of cannabis out there that were fairly disrespectful, I thought, to the intelligent people that smoke this most wonderful of plants, or imbibe it in so many different ways. So I wrote that, and I wanted to make it thought-provoking. And so I was very happy to be able to do it. And now I get to do it in front of like 20,000 people at 420. And it just echoes down all the side streets. You can hear that sound system we've got.
And people are starting to sing along, I noticed, too, in the crowd, Like it's
a beautiful
to catch
thing.
on.
It's a beautiful thing. You know,
You should think about handing out the words to people.
I have had the words hanging there at most years. The last couple of years, it hasn't been able to squeeze in there with all the other stuff that we put up on.
That's a great idea. Let's get them printed.
No handouts.
Printed.
I'm the
Okay.
guy. We're
I'm down.
doing
I'd
all
love
the
that.
signage. So if you want to put something up, let's
We've
work on
got
something.
connections.
All right,
We'll
we'll do it. We could have it for this
You know,
year.
poster
People in
connections.
high places.
The sacred plant
High
of
people
You
in
peace.
gotta just
places.
put it in a form we can get printed.
All right, I'll have that to you by tomorrow this time.
Done and
Okay,
done.
cool.
All
Yeah,
right.
we'll figure something out.
Cool.
Thanks, Neil. Awesome.
Off. Happy Cannabis Day
And
coming
thanks
up.
for coming on the show.
Summer solstice. Enjoy the sun.
And you're welcome to chill and hang out if you want. You don't have to go anywhere unless we have other people to squeeze into the couch.
He's probably going on tour. When are you leaving? When are you
Yeah,
leaving?
Actually, you know, on that note, I am
just
going to be doing.
joking.
But
really
it's a
leaving.
good thing you mentioned that, because I am going to be doing some touring this year for Sensible BC.
Oh, that's awesome.
And going through the province and helping to educate people about what that initiative is all about.
Cool.
And in case you don't know, Sensible BC is an initiative to try to get a referendum on whether or not we should be wasting police resources on, at this first stage, personal possession of cannabis.
That's right.
Camera. Oh, look into the
He's
camera.
talking right at me.
I want to talk to you folks out there about Sensible BC, apparently.
I will follow every tour date.
Yeah, and so we need people to get involved. We need volunteers out in the communities. There's 85 different ridings in British Columbia. We need to get 10% of all of those ridings to sign on to ask for this referendum to happen. So that takes some real grassroots efforts and going door to door and getting people to sign on for this thing. And then once the referendum happens, we hope that the BC people will realize that $10 million a year wasted on giving good Canadians criminal records for simple possession of what is way smarter than the alcohol most other people are consuming legally
And loss of
is
revenue.
absurd, and we shouldn't be doing that. And this is an opportunity for us to force the government to have the police treat it as their lowest priority and not hassle people for simple possession, and continue on with lobbying the federal government to allow for dispensaries to be legalized and other forms of distribution that make sense. So it's a wonderful project, and thanks for asking.
Yeah.
I just realized I'm really baked, man.
Yeah, me too. I really am too.
And-
I ate some of this candy, and we've been munching on the popcorn a little bit here.
Yeah, but it's also the monster joints being rolled and tossed in my lap.
no, those don't have
Look,
anything
I got
to
one
do with
down
it.
there right now.
And actually, speaking of smoking, so let's continue this smoke fest here. Now, I was having trouble earlier. At the beginning of the show, we had a lot of technical
I got some really nice
problems,
rub for your
but,
bong.
and
Are
I
you taking a
couldn't
bong
get
rip?
this camera to actually like go live here or get working at all. But now it looks like it is. Yeah, the bong.
I know all the stuff
Bong
I
cam.
brought is usually from my Medicaid. This is out of my personal collection, though.
Bong cam, yo.
This finger rub. Are you gonna hit it or what? It's
Yeah, I'll hit
really
it.
tasty, man. Like I usually sprinkle it in a joint.
It looks
and
awesome.
It's just like flavor.
I want to
city.
show this actually to the camera. Can we do that somehow? Hey, Johnny, since you're there, Johnny B in the crowd, celebrity himself. Can you show that to the
we will, 10
show that to the
times.
camera?
It's right there. We're gonna do it one after the other.
Chomper fellow.
Wow.
Don't you hit your sublimation machine?
Yeah, hold it right up there.
Hold it still and then focus it.
Yeah, it's like,
Just sitting there like tempting all these people at home. I'm sure they want to see it.
Okay.
yeah, it's a little
I'll
blurry
hit it
there.
right now. I'm gonna.
A little back, yeah. there
Can
you
I
go.
hit that thing the same time you're hitting that? No.
Sure,
I'll do it
synchronized.
after. He's trying to coach me
That
into
looks
hitting
good.
it.
We got a good shot. For
Now you're good.
Girls are
Show 'em what's
better
inside the
hitting
container.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
There you go.
Perfect.
that. You're hired. You ever think about doing hand modeling?
Good shot.
Let me get your number.
Yeah. We'll call you Vanna. Nice,
Huh?
thanks, man.
It's finger rub. I want to put it in the.
When you
bowl.
say that, it sounds so dirty.
Well, well, they use latex glove when we trim, so it's actually off a glove. And
I don't
then,
mean it's actually dirty. I was-
glove rub. Okay, how's that?
Finger rub. How much is it for one of these finger rubs?
It's not for sale. As I said, people don't sell that shit. You ever trimmed weed before? You don't sell your finger hash. You fucking keep it
Oh,
and smoke it.
I thought we were talking about something
As I
else.
said, this is all everything else here is for my Medicaid, except for this, which you're about to have a hit of.
Yes.
And John also wanted to have a hit on the thing. John, where'd you go? I think I heard
Jeez.
his feelings. He's probably going to cry. He can have a hit off the thing there. I just meant that I want him to hit it too. When he
Okay,
comes
bong
back, let's
cam.
tell him. Let's
The
surprise
bong
him.
cam's pretty close
I feel
here.
bad now, eh? Is he really in the bathroom?
He's crying
He
now.
really wanted it bad. He's like, why is Mark so mean? He did give me a
teared
hit
up
of
as he
his
went
stuff
away.
too.
His eyes were welling
I
up.
already had a hit of his stuff at the start of this show too, eh? Or was
Okay,
that before?
I'm gonna cue. I think I did now. Hold on, let's see. Bong cam.
Did you load it up good?
I loaded it up good. Let's have that lighter. Bong cam. Yeah, we got the bong strap, the cam strap on the bong.
I'm
I
sure
don't know.
there is.
There must be some.
Oh yeah, there's
Was that
definitely.
inspired by somebody else's bong cam, or did you come up with that yourself?
No, there's definitely a bong cam.
Well, it might be the only one then. Although by now there's others.
I haven't seen anybody else do it, but
Now I'm sure there's.
it seems like a pretty normal or natural idea.
I bought a waterproof
I don't claim to have
camera.
invented it. I just
I want to get a bong
thought of it.
shot inside the bong. Well, I need one big enough. I got a waterproof Sony camera that I could put in, right? But it's like that big, right? And it's like, you know. So I need to get one custom.
Wow, delicious.
Yeah, I know you would.
Yeah, it should be a little higher
I'm
maybe.
gonna make sure we get it.
We
done.
gotta sort of figure out a better way to strap the bong on there precisely. That's a look better. Try one more here.
How's it taste though? That's what people want to know, man. How's the flavor?
It tastes delicious.
You sure you're not just saying that for the camera?
Tastes like your delicious finger rub.
Oh, all I heard was delicious finger, and then you said rub. You're like your delicious finger
Rub.
rub.
Exactly.
It's creepy. Okay, moving on.
You loved it.
Okay, moving on.
You loved it. You loved
Should
it.
I take a butter dab off of this one? There's no
Where'd
camera
Karina
for it.
go? I didn't know she was gone until I actually
She
saw
wanted to
on
have
the
a
screen.
drink. Look at her. She's just hitting the bottle
She
there.
heard how much you were going to
Hitting that root beer.
Oh, I wouldn't mind a swig of that myself.
Yeah, it's funny. You're like, "Hey, you should hit your machine there. Okay. Let's hit the machine.
Why don't you
The
hit it?
technology and the futuristic machine.
Hit that thing.
Atomization of particles. This is amazing.
The magical vapors from the magical machine.
Yep.
That's sublimated over there.
Do you want to hit it or should I hit it? I'll hit it.
You hit it. I just
I
took
want
a hit
to.
of the bong.
Was it good?
It was good. That finger rub is very nice. You have a way with that finger rub.
You say it specially though. Finger rub.
It's all about the timing. Speaking of timing, it's just about 6 o'clock here. Just about 6 o'clock on Pot TV. And yeah, we did get started a little late, so, you know, we've only been going for like an hour and a half, which is cool with me.
It's like below the cameras.
We do have a couple more videos to play here. I wanted to play, I had Rascalz performances to play from the Kush Cup last year. I don't know if we should even bother playing those Rascalz episodes because
People just watch my back as I hit the bong.
people should just tune in to see the Rascalz perform next week at the Kush Cup.
Sorry, I'm
You know what I mean? I do have videos to play. Or should we just?
I think you should play them.
I also have some news I wanted to talk about, but my iPad shut down, and so I don't have it in front of me.
I
here.
remember the one was in the United States, the hemp
Yeah.
news.
There's big hemp news here. I'm going to
Big
bring this
hemp
up
news.
actually. There is big
remember
hemp
going
news.
over with you.
That's right. Right before the show,
And although
you
I
were
just had a
talking
butter
about some
toke,
of our news.
I'm capable of reaching into the far drawers of my memory
Right.
and helping you, even though your technology is shut down.
Technology.
I've used the old brain.
Yeah, well, last week on the show, we had Paul Armentano of Normal on the program. He joined us by telephone, and we were talking about an amendment to a farming bill that was going through the federal House in the United States. And this was a bill, sorry, it was the Senate, I believe, isn't it? But it was an amendment to a farming bill, and it had actually died. But now we find out that another amendment had been raised.
A second amendment, and it was passed.
And it was passed, and it actually won by a bunch of votes, and now it actually allows for research into hemp in the United States, in states that already have hemp laws on the books. So I'm not sure if that, I'm pretty sure it would allow new states
It's
to
for
start doing it.
universities, basically, and colleges to study it.
So they're allowed to grow it, and now they're allowed to study what it is they're growing.
That's correct.
Hemp we're talking about here.
Yeah.
It is a big step forward, but
Yeah, no, that's very cool. And there was some other stories here. I still
I
can
think the
bring
big
up
story
the
is
blog.
that up until now they've not even been allowed to research something.
Yeah, no
where they
kidding.
can research heroin.
Well, it's just brutal that the government wants to hide this flower away and all its crazy medical benefits. I mean, at some point you just gotta it's just too much, man. There's just too many reasons that it seems like this is a conscious thing where there's an element of people out there who really are working against this as hard as they can, and they have been for a long time.
One of the guys doing that is Daryl Plekas.
Daryl Plekas is one of them.
He's now an MLA. He was elected to the Liberal governing body here in British Columbia, and Daryl Plekas has been railing against cannabis for years and years.
We did run a candidate for the marijuana party in his riding to try and challenge him there and embarrass him a little bit. Yeah, Steve, and he did a great job.
He did, but
didn't get very many votes, unfortunately. But
I know Daryl.
well, he got
I've
enough
been watching Daryl's career for a long time as one of these
guy,
people that's paid by the RCMP and by our government to rail against cannabis and to try to hide all these wonderful benefits. And Pot TV, I was running a camera for Pot TV, I think in 2005, a debate between Daryl Plekas and Norm Stamper, the ex-police chief of Seattle.
That's right.
And Daryl said during that debate, because the medical cannabis thing came up back in 2005, when it was just first starting to really be understood about the benefits of cannabis. And he said back then...
Move over a bit.
Talk to them.
He said back then that, oh, well, hey, let's just wait. Let's not do anything hasty. Let's wait and see. Because he thinks the whole medical... I'm talking to you and to them, you know?
We're listening.
All right.
Let him talk to whoever he wants to talk to.
I'm just talking. But what I'm saying is that Daryl Plekas, you're probably watching Pot TV.
Needs to be
I think him and Christy are probably sitting side by side watching Pot TV. And Daryl, I want to remind you of what you said back then, because you said you thought the whole medical cannabis thing was a myth, that it was going to be proven wrong, that the jury was still out. But if it turned out that cannabis actually had medical benefits, then that would be a whole different ballgame, and we shouldn't be prohibiting it as a substance. So, Daryl, I want you to go back and go through the archives at cannabisculture.ca, find that tape, think about what you said, and come clean on this. It's time for you to join those other law enforcement people that have changed their mind and come out and said the right thing. Time for you to join LEAP. Check them out, leap.cc. Law enforcement people saying that the drug war is wrong. You need to be one of those people, Daryl. You've looked into it long enough. You've suppressed enough information for enough time. You need to come clean on this. That's my appeal to Daryl.
Clear your soul.
Yeah, clear your soul.
Yeah,
Daryl.
no, absolutely. Agreed. And yeah,
come on the right side.
Plekas, he's just so full of crap. That's the thing, is you know that he's just lying his ass off because the things he says just doesn't make sense.
So now as an MLA, he needs to do the right thing.
Oh man, I can't believe how badly this province failed in the last election. But let's not get started on that. I do want to play this one video that we had here and talk about a few of the other news items. Oh, we were speaking about the Plekas talking about the medical benefits, or yay or nay if they actually exist or not. Well, a new study just released here. This is from normal.org from Paul Armentano, who was on the show last week. Study, cannabis smoking not associated with increased lung cancer risk or other serious pulmonary complications. So I'm just going to read a little piece of this.
So when someone tells you marijuana causes lung cancer, tell them to go shove it.
That's right.
Or check this link.
Or send them to
I literally had someone say to me, and they were
or
even like a pot
soon.
person. They were like, oh yeah, like it's not very knowledgeable or whatever. Like, yeah, but pot causes lung cancer.
Well, this study looks like a good one. A forthcoming review to be published in journal Annals of the American Thoracic Society. Sorry. What is it? Thoracic Society? I don't know what that word means.
That's the idea. See, you have to be smart enough to know what it means to be in that society. So right there, you're not in it.
Thoracic
Clearly,
Society.
they know what the
THORACIC. Reiterates that the ingestion of cannabis smoke poses nominal pulmonary risks compared to those associated with tobacco smoke. The author of the paper, Donald P. Tashkin, MD, Emeritus Professor of Medicine and Medical Director at the Pulmonary Function Laboratory, the David Geffen School of Medicine. Geffen.
At University of California.
That's right. They performed this U.S. government-sponsored.
University of
It's a
California.
U.S. government-sponsored study, and it shows that pot does not cause lung cancer.
Did you Facebook that?
In fact, they found out that there was evidence of some benefit in reducing lung cancer rates for those who were smoking cannabis only. That was in also in that
right now that's not. I don't know if that's this paper, but that was an earlier paper that was released by I think it was even Tashkin working on the earlier paper.
Yep.
Now, but this is a new one. I'm sure of it.
This came out June 20th.
Yeah, this is a brand new article, June 19th, 2013, on the front page of Normal right now. So
does it not say that in there though? Because I think I read that same thing, and I think in there it does also say
this paper will be available later this month. Let's see.
Right towards the end.
Yeah. So again, will it find? It shows no clear link between marijuana use and the development of COPD. That's the pulmonary disorder.
Anyways.
In addition, findings from a limited number of well-designed epidemiological studies do not suggest an increased risk for the development of either lung or upper airway cancer from moderate use.
What's moderate use?
No, it says, I don't know. No, this isn't the same one, I don't think.
Okay.
The other one showed that it actually has a benefit and actually stops cancer. And I think that there's other studies that show the same thing. That's why there's so much talk about cannabis actually fighting cancer.
There's certainly no hospital wards filled with people that are using cannabis, no brown lung going on.
That's right.
None of that stuff.
And they found on rats, at least, when they give rats smoked marijuana, it cuts down brain tumors by half, by 50%. And now they are doing, I heard,
Lucky rats, eh?
Lucky rats. They're doing
they have to get
human
brain
trials.
cancer to go into that crew?
Some rats are luckier than others.
I guess
right.
so. Yeah. So they have to get brain cancer, which sucks. But then they're like, they have to smoke pot every day.
Yeah.
But which cured them. And now they're
if you
heroes.
got brain cancer, it sucks anyway, and if you got weed to smoke, it makes it.
They probably study them afterwards.
Yeah,
okay, let's stop thinking about it.
Rats are
all right,
doomed.
continue.
Yeah.
It's kind of stupid if you got brain cancer and you want to smoke weed because you think it might help you feel better, and then somebody tells you you're not allowed to. That's just ridiculous.
One of the other...
I've always said that about pot. Yeah, it's got all these awesome, amazing, miracle benefits.
Sorry.
But it also, when you're going through critical illness, is something else to focus on. Could be therapeutic in other ways also.
Right. Now, Paul, when he was on the show, Paul Armentano from Normal, he mentioned that in the United States, there's a general tone of understanding of the marijuana issue on a larger scale than usual. And he thinks that the media and other centers of power are actually, there's a shift going on, where there's this acceptance happening more than ever before. Now, there's a video that I just found before the show. I didn't actually even get a chance to watch it to the very end, but what I saw I thought was pretty decent. So, Marius, can we play this video, 50 states heading towards legalization?
Anytime.
All right, now I think this is from the Young Turks, isn't it?
Mox News.
Well, Mox News clipped it, yeah. It's Mox News. I love this guy, Mox News. He clips a lot of great clips on YouTube, moxnews.com or something, I think. moxnews.org, maybe. Okay. But, yeah, play this clip, Marius.
It's time now to check out the state of the states when it comes to marijuana law. It's an issue like same-sex marriage that the Beltway won't touch, but states are addressing head-on. Only 2 states, Washington and Colorado, allow adults to use marijuana recreationally. They are now grappling with how to run a system that is counter to federal law. Another 17 states, mostly in the West and Northeast, allow marijuana for medical use. An effort in Maine to extend medical marijuana to all adults is picking up steam now. A bill to allow possession of up to 2.5 ounces and tax the drug at $50 per ounce made it out of a legislative committee just yesterday. In Colorado, the state's Medical Marijuana Enforcement Division is getting low marks as it transitions to drop the medical from its name. Lawmakers are up in arms over an audit that found it plagued by low funding, poor oversight, and a slow permitting process. I'm sure the funding and permitting would pick up if you could just use pot to shoot bullets. To find out the state of the country's patchwork of marijuana laws, we turn to David Downs. David covers the evolving marijuana laws as the editor of the Smell the Truth blog. Welcome inside the War Room, David.
Thanks for having me, Michael.
So, David, how is the Colorado experiment going right now? What's the state of the experiment?
I think it's fair to call it growing pains. You know, the Department of Revenue started the Medical Marijuana Enforcement Division just a couple years ago, and they've seen fluctuating budgets as well as the realities of enforcing policy differ widely from what it looked like on the paper.
Yeah. So when you say they're having growing pains, this is all new terrain for everyone. So people are just kind of feeling out how it's going to work.
We're talking about daylighting a black market industry, and the Department of Revenue has experience doing that in Colorado with gambling. And so, you know, when the way they did it with gambling, they thought I'd give it over to them, and now it's going to take some time to put together.
So is Washington State facing the same difficulties as Colorado?
Washington is even earlier along in the process. They just hired their their marijuana consultant, Mark Klokeid, and he's going to be helping them outline exactly how to run their production, distribution, transportation, the whole thing, set taxes.
Yeah, and he comes from California. He's a UCLA
professor.
What is that role? Is that role going to happen or exist in each of the 50 states, or is this something that because there's no oversight, they're just trying to figure a good way out of doing it?
Yeah, I mean, they really are in uncharted territory as a state, and Klokeid represents probably the best of the breed in terms of knowledge about the interaction between the market and policy and ways to prevent some unintended consequences.
Well, let's look at some of the other states as well. According to the legalization advocacy group, Marijuana Policy Project, there are 8 states from New Hampshire to Hawaii that could follow the path to legalization for adults. What sort of roadblocks do these proponents have to overcome?
Many of them are institutional. You're going to see in the Maine case significant issues being raised in the Senate, as well as, you know, in New York, you're seeing a medical marijuana bill that died in the Senate last year, and a new one that's starting right now is going to face more roadblocks in the Senate. You're dealing with powerfully entrenched interests that have spent, 70 years enforcing drug policy, and any changes to marijuana law moves some people's cheese around the board.
Right, and we hear that the Justice Department is going to weigh in on this in one way or another soon, but soon has never been defined. What do you expect? I mean, just as a guess or a hunch, Eric Holder's next move is going to be with regards to states like California, Colorado, and Washington?
The scuttlebutt is that they could sue to prevent the implementation of those programs, and that lawsuit could end up in front of the Supreme Court the way the DOMA situation has.
Yeah, you bring up the DOMA situation. I'm glad you did. Gay marriage is another big state versus, the people issue, or state versus federal issue. A recent Quinnipiac poll shows that marijuana legalization has more support than same-sex marriage, and we've heard about all these same-sex marriage support at an age levels up to 65 years and older. It's as high as 67% in younger voters. So why is marijuana lagging behind same-sex marriage and becoming legal at the state level if this popularity actually has it ahead?
That's a great question. It comes down to values for a certain amount of people. To a certain degree, being soft on crime or soft on drugs will really hold up politicians in a way that we're not seeing with the gay rights issue. Like some of your other correspondents mentioned earlier, politicians are flipping left and right on this. But you're going to see the politicians lead from behind if they lead at all with regard to marijuana law reform.
And is that's interesting. I always think of this as always first of all, it was a political hot button to say you'd even tried pot. Now that seems to be an accepted, almost a normal thing for someone running for office. But when you say the politicians are going to be lagging behind or leading from behind, how soon do you think it's going to be politically expedient to say that you favor marijuana legalization?
Well, I mean, you can look at here in California where you have Representative Tom Ammiano, who represents San Francisco, who's a vociferous advocate in the California legislature. But even he says that here in California, the majority of his fellow lawmakers are, quote, afraid of their own shadow with regard to changing marijuana law. So try to imagine this situation playing out in South South Dakota or any deeply red state, and you can just imagine how hard it's going to be.
Of course, yeah. And you know what's compelling too is this whole idea of taxing. They're going to tax so heavily this marijuana. How soon will it be so taxed that people are just going to start going back to the black market and buying their pot the way they have forever?
That's something Kleiman's really going to struggle with in Washington. Marijuana is widely available in this country. 10th graders, like 71% of them, report easy or very easy access to it. The most common price Americans pay for marijuana is $0.
Right.
It's gifted to them by friends. So any type of taxation above and beyond the actual cost to produce is going to run into the reality on the street where pot's widely available and pretty cheap.
Right. I love when 10th graders are the demographic that people are talking about. It's just, so 10th grade, we polled 10th graders. I think we've over-polled when we're at 10th grade.
Well, yeah, I mean, everyone talks about keeping this drug away from kids, and that's why how they're against these changes to laws. And it's important to remember that for decades, the drug's been widely available.
Yeah, well, the blog is called Smell the Truth. David Downs, thanks so much for these insights. It's not just as simple as, okay, you can have recreational pot. There's so many layers to this. Appreciate you for helping us figure that out. Up next.
MoxNews.com. Dun, 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 dun.
I love Mox News.
Frozen.
They're the ones that had that gummy stuff on there.
We are frozen. I have to restart.
We're frozen. Okay, yeah, you restart, Mario. You should come and hit this bong. I don't actually have any weed to put in it. But if you want to, come and hit it. When you get a chance to.
Wow.
And we'll flip it back. So yeah, that was cool
Mox
video.
News.
There you go. Oh yes, I was saying.
I like them because they did my gummy bill.
Man, what were we smoking out of that thing? I hope they can hear us.
Is there anybody out there? Interchat.
Are we live?
Interweb. You're right in front of the camera.
Yeah, sounds good. They say.
If Marius is here, he'd be choked.
We should put here. There's a big, huge nugget of weed right here,
If
Marius.
we're on somebody's big screen TV,
got lots of
and
weed.
they
What do you
got,
need,
like, high
weed
def and
or-
shit.
But look at it.
What are you guys doing?
We're more real than
fresh
that.
giant nugget of
I thought
weed.
we're hitting the hash.
Our roaches are not
John will
roaches.
give you a
These
head.
are like half joints.
No, it's pure head.
Pure head.
There you go.
Sorry.
Here,
John
let's
will give
go.
you
We'll
pure
put-
head.
We'll put the bong
Ask
can
him.
back on.
Proud
Yeah,
of
you could have some of the good stuff.
If anything wrong with it.
Here.
What?
Do you want to smoke this thing? You're out the bong
Yeah, I
cans on
just
it.
need a lighter.
Oh, lighter. There you go. Marius on the bong cam.
Pay close attention, folks at home. This is how you do it.
That's right.
Oh, here's ball cam angle. Naked.
Yeah, that's a pretty slick bong cam.
Let go.
Got a big fire going on there.
He's filling the chamber. He's filling the chamber. Is that tight?
Oh yeah.
And comes. How you do it?
Bam.
Like a roller coaster. Making
There's
clouds.
a huge bowl in there.
There, yeah, you should keep hitting that
This
thing.
will take forever.
Keep hitting it.
No one's going nowhere.
Bong cam. Yeah, I do like the bong cam angle. We're gonna have to figure out a better way of strapping it on there. It's kind of like half-ass strapped right now.
Well, you are an expert in strapping
And strapping things on.
And strap-ons,
Strap on.
I was gonna say.
That's good. That's better. That would have been funnier.
I'm sorry.
An expert in strap-ons.
I didn't know
No,
that.
I'm
You
already,
guys just set yourselves up here.
you how you do.
I'm already fully equipped, and Karina is too.
Well, you consult the experts and you get back to us on how to strap it on better.
Oh yeah. Well, I got a whole website about
You
it
can
actually.
research it that.
I thought me and you were working on a
Different
video
methods of strap-ons.
website about that.
Sure, bud.
Well, or either that, or I was just like privately recording our rendezvous.
Yeah, I signed
Somebody will write a song
disclosures. I signed disclosures. You're
There
not
you
supposed
go.
to be talking about this.
There you are.
Yeah, that one's not going to be sponsored by the Fox though.
Flirting back.
Fox though.
Flirting too much. Give me the
I
lighter.
like the Kush Cup.
Yeah, that one won't be sponsored by the Fox 99.3.
No.
And so that was cool. Todd Hancock having us on his show.
Did you like that?
That was fun.
He's a really cool guy, eh?
He's a cool guy. I was going to try and have him on this show, and he expressed his interest in coming on. But unfortunately, his show and my show correspond. They're on at the exact same time. So what we'll probably have to do is like do the show live from there, or like do his show live from here. I think it might
I
be
think you
easier
do live from there.
to do it the other way. We could do a live broadcast right from the Todd Hancock show. That might be fun.
Maybe, yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah, we can bring down our little BlackBerry.
He's super cool. Or the other thing is do a special.
I thought the whole
after.
thing was awesome. I saw that interview, and I thought you guys did a great job of hitting all the issues and educating the people out there on the other side of their radio.
You probably saw an earlier one, maybe, because I don't think that one was
I saw last
recorded.
Fridays.
You heard it on Friday.
Yeah, but did you record that interview?
No, but you listened to it.
Oh, you said listen.
No,
I thought you said
I saw it
watched.
on YouTube. It was put up as the interview, and I'm sure I saw what you guys. Well, what he did there.
I didn't know that it was available on YouTube.
You put that up, right?
Yeah, with Danger.
With Danger, yeah.
Yeah, it was with Danger as was.
Oh, different one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, different one. When I was on
Yeah,
with
I was
Danger
sure we
2
didn't
days
record it.
before.
That's why I was
Oh, I
thinking.
see.
I was like, what the fuck?
So I didn't see the one where you two.
I'll be going on Todd
No, you didn't
Hancock's
see
show
it.
again.
Yeah, well, that's cool. Maybe
The one
next
with
time.
Danger was awesome.
Yeah, those are fun, man, for sure.
Yeah,
But
Danger's good.
so Kush Cup coming up next weekend. We're gonna be there broadcasting live, and the Vancouver Health Expo will have a booth. We'll be there broadcasting live.
It'd be huge. We got to deal with the UBC with all their staff and faculty to get half price. So in terms of numbers, we expect a huge following of people to turn out because one of their graduates is presenting, not only all the doctors.
Yeah.
But I'm
when
actually.
is that?
That's the presenter, the UBC guy.
Yeah.
That's June 28th, 29th, and 30th.
Right.
He's presenting all 3 days.
Cool.
Jazz Juhal, he's kinetics graduate. Anyways, but I'm going on the radio there. I was asking if you want to come with me on Tuesday. They're on campus radio stations. They have one that goes to Spain, and one that's also on campus there.
Sure, I'll come with you.
106 or something like that. So
Hell yeah.
let's go up there. And I asked him on the phone. I was like, indica or sativa? Like sativa.
Nice. Knows what he's talking about.
Yeah, it's my. Oh, I've been doing all this publicity. I did the province and all that stuff. So all these guys got to call me and shit, right? And do a little tie or whatever. And that's always the last thing I say to them. Indica or sativa?
Sativa. Yeah.
You know where
cool.
they stand. If they're like, huh? Yeah, okay. Yeah, I know.
What day is that?
Tuesday.
Tuesday.
It's a busy day for me.
And
I'm
we'll
also
get the
doing,
station stuff. We'll put up on Pot TV.
The rest of that Sizzler.
Oh yeah. So tell people about that too. Can you?
Yeah, I can tell.
All right.
I'm in works with a big production company to do a kind of like a Duck Dynasty show. And we're doing a Sizzler for it for Oil and National Geographic or Discovery is the ones that want it. So yeah, they're a big company and they've done lots of content for MTV and they own a bunch of other shows. Like
It's
American
about pot
Pickers and stuff.
entrepreneurs.
Yeah, it's about basically my dispensary, sublimator, and Remo, the urban grower. So it's kind of the basis of the show. And the Expo and the Kush Cup, of course, also.
That's pretty dope, man.
Yeah.
That would be fun.
Be good content.
We've been
And of
talking
course-
about having a reality show around here for a long, long time. There's been offers.
And you know I'll be bringing the
before.
cameras down here because it's part of my life anyways, right?
Yeah.
So
We
that's the
never
idea.
really. Yeah, we decided not to. I think there was like an HBO sort of thing on the
We
table
already-
a while ago, but it just seemed like there were too many things that were borderline. Like, would they allow us to actually present things in the way that we wanted, or would they try and manipulate it into being something that we couldn't control, and that's why we didn't want to do it. But I think
Yeah, well,
that you're working with an independent team who doesn't have a vested interest in changing your message or anything.
No, they actually, my life's already interesting.
That's
That's the idea, right? So, but we already
Yeah.
filmed the Sizzler, and they used. They're serious about this. They used.
Just hope they don't tone you down at all. That's
yeah,
what
they
I
used
mean.
Tara Schott. She's the Vancouver Housewives director. She's done that for 2 seasons, and will be doing next season. So they used her for the Sizzler. So it was fucking awesome. And the premises of us going and finding this great strain that Remo has, and going to Toronto and entering in the cup, and then. Yeah, tied in like that.
That's
so.
very cool. And you're working with Remo and Enrico. Now somebody just wrote in the chat, actually it was down south who wrote in the chat, Enrico's cooking show live after CNN.
Yeah.
that would be funny. And Enrico, funnily enough,
he'll be here on the 23rd.
He owns a restaurant.
Yeah, a great Mexican restaurant. It's just beautiful there too.
So he probably
He's
could
in
come
Quebec
down here and
City.
whip
I was
some
just recently
grub up
there.
for us. That would probably be
He's
pretty
like
damn
an awesome
delicious.
cook too, and I think he should bring it to Vancouver. He
Good
was
Mexican.
talking about it.
He's
He's
a
like,
French
"Mark, if you
guy
wanna
with a
open
Mexican
up there,
restaurant.
No,
give me the
he's a Mexican guy with a Mexican restaurant.
I thought he was French.
No, he's Mexican.
What?
No, he's not.
Yes, he is.
No, he's not.
He's
He just
French.
speaks French.
He's
He's full French. He lived in Mexico.
Yeah, he lived in Mexico.
Yeah, he speaks like
but he lived there
different
for a long
languages.
time. Like he
De
considered
facto
himself
Mexican
from Mexico
then.
when he came to Quebec. and met his wife in Alberta.
Well, we'll get his biography straight when we have him on the show next time.
Where was he born? He's born in
He might have been born
Quebec.
in Canada. Yeah, that could be true.
I'm sure.
He could have been born anywhere.
But he lived in Mexico and brought this restaurant from Mexico to Quebec City, right?
Yeah, but he lived in Mexico for a long while.
Well, let's make bets on it and we'll figure it out.
Quebec City. I traveled with the guy. Seen his passport.
All right.
I believe
Well, this was a good show. It's
Straight
6:20.
Yeah.
Probably,
Oh,
I think we're out of things to really
I
talk
have
about.
a bet with the guy that he'll speak as good a Chinese as me, Mandarin specifically, by May 10th.
Really? May 10th?
Or else whoever loses has to take that person anywhere in the world.
It just
and
seems
I'm choosing like some $20,000 fucked up destination
That's
to go
too
to.
easy of a one for him to fake, you know?
He can't fake it. He has to learn Chinese.
Yeah, but if he just is like, I don't know how to speak it, you have to fly me anywhere.
No, he loses. I get to choose it.
Oh,
I'll be
if he
like,
doesn't
I'm going to
speak as
fucking
well, he
Antarctica. Let's go,
Oh,
man. We're
I
fucking
see.
an
So
expedition.
you think he
That's
can't?
good reality TV right there.
You think he can't?
No,
then?
it's good life experience.
I thought you thought he could.
I want to go to like the Congo, where it's like you gotta hire like. Yeah, don't worry.
You're a world traveler.
Yeah, I'll be doing that anyways.
All right, well, you'll be recording it as well, I'm sure.
So yeah, Club Zone. You can buy tickets now on Club Zone.
Yep, and people can find out more information at VancouverHealthExpo.com.
Yeah, or Kush.ca.
Or Kush.ca/Kush Cup.
Yep.
That's right. All right, guys and girls.
Cannabis
Day.
What's Cannabis Day? Just
Cannabis Day.
Oh, Cannabis Day is July 1st, of course. That's a Monday here in the city of Vancouver. Oh, yeah, it's going to be gigantic.
And
it's going to be
coalition,
fun.
What's the coalition?
We're already sold out on booze, I hear. Is that true? I don't think it's true. I would have heard about it by now if that was true. I usually get these notifications right away. Yep, no notification.
You can come set up at one of my spots.
It doesn't matter because there's booth space for everybody.
Yeah, there's booth space for everybody.
So if you want to come down and
even if you're lazy,
set up shop,
money,
come on down and set up
Come
shop.
early
We got
to
tons
10.
of space. The Vancouver Art Gallery grounds are huge. We can make plenty of space for
We
everybody.
plan on taking over the streets.
That's right, if we have to. And actually, this year...
So if we're in the Vancouver Sun Run, we invite you to come down.
We figure that this year we might be full enough to actually overflow Howe Street, where traditionally on Cannabis Day we haven't had enough people to overflow like we do on 420.
Oh, I was going for Georgia this year.
Georgia, well, yeah.
The more the merrier.
No,
Everybody
cops-
should come out.
The cops don't like us going on to Georgia, and they actually put up fences. Do you see that? Notice that? At 420 this year, they had fences. That you might be right. That might have been for the Sun Run.
That Sun Run really got us.
The suit, good comment.
Because by 420 we had
thinking.
taken
I
over
hadn't
all
thought
of
of
Georgia
that.
Street.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and actually
What are you doing
those
tonight?
fences caused a problem
What are you
because
doing
eventually
tonight?
they turned over and then
What are
everybody...
you doing tonight?
I don't know.
What are you doing tonight?
Why? What's going on?
I don't know. I just think something exciting's about to go down after this. We got to tell everyone we're going to have this crazy night planned. Sorry, but we got to go.
Yeah, that's what we're doing.
this
It's
bomb's
huge.
Gonna get
Well, we have such a
hit
huge
so many
night planned,
times.
we can't actually tell people about
We
it
cannot
because
continue.
it's
This
so
is-
debaucherous and just totally fucking
Amsterdam
awesome
shit,
that
man.
Yeah.
we can't tell anybody.
Point proven.
All right. Well, whatever we're doing, we'll see you guys next Friday. We'll see you
Peace.
before that, actually. We'll see you next Friday morning because what time
Can
do
I
you
tell people to live in the now?
live? You could try to tell them that.
Live in the now, I'm telling you.
There's no guarantee that
Good
they
idea.
will.
You'll be
They will
happy you
take your
did.
advice, though.
They better,
But
because you never know.
what time does the the Vancouver Health Expo start?
10 a.m.
10 a.m. Friday.
till 8, I think it is on Friday. It's pretty late on the Friday.
So we'll be setting up shop and
Just the one
broadcasting
day?
by noon
Huh?
on Friday.
It's going to be awesome. Maybe
Yeah.
that's a little late. I don't know. Vancouver Health Expo. I know it starts at 10, though. I'll give you that. Maybe 7. I don't know what it goes to.
Thanks to
It's gonna be a
everybody for
blast.
coming on the show. Jason Wilcox. We had Red One from the Rascalz on the show. Big, huge thanks.
New dispensary.
Med
Juno
Mark,
Award winners.
the weed guy.
Rascals, yeah, and Red Med.
Neil.
Check it out
Peace,
on
freedom,
Adam
Yeah,
Street.
go to Red Med. I don't
And
see a
thanks to
website
Medicate
address on
for all
here.
the edibles. I'm all ripped now.
231 Abbott Street, Red Med.
Yeah, I medicate.ca.
Big thanks to Marius for making it all work and making the sound good.
Good
And
night,
that's not
everybody.
Thanks to
yelling at
everybody.
me.
We had a big crowd today checking the show out.
crowd.
Thanks to everybody in the lounge here at
We're
307
here
West
for
Hastings.
you, buddy. It's your fan club.
Love you guys.
Look at the giggles.
It's for the
I know.
atmosphere.
Oh, I love you guys too.
The magical vapors in the room.
All right. Peace, Pot TV. We'll see you soon.
Peace.
Baked.